Pratik bhai, we are live now. You can start the session.
Okay, okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Krishnan sir, I can hear you. Krishnan sir, you're trying to say something? Okay. Okay, good afternoon, students. So I welcome you all to the second crash course of GST. Yesterday we learned about few topics: input tax credit, then registration under GST, place of supply, and value of supply. We learned some portions of each and every chapter yesterday. Today we have divided into three parts. Yes, someone is speaking. Yes, sir. Unni sir, can you kindly mute yourself, sir? Unni Krishnan sir.
Pratik bhai, you can also do muting if anything is required na anytime. You can also.
Okay, I'm muted him. Unni Krishnan sir. Okay, see, now I've divided today's topic again into three parts. Part 1, we will cover about what? See this. Part 1, we shall cover about input tax credit and reverse charge mechanism. This difficult topic I will cover in part 1. Part 2 will be about TDS and TCS in GST law. What is this TDS? Why this TCS? This we will cover in next 15-20 minutes then. And the final part, I will cover some portions of your e-way bill. So today's topic, we will cover all this topic. Okay? Now, input tax credit in GST law. Yesterday we learned about 17.5 and rule 42. Today, we are going to learn about new rule. See, you all know there are three types of taxes. Whenever you supply goods or whenever you supply services, suppose you supply within the state. Which GST is applicable? Correct. CGST and SGST. When the buyer and the seller within the state, place of supplies within the state, you will charge CGST and SGST. But suppose if the recipient, your place of supply is outside the state, which tax will come? It will come IGST. It will come as IGST. You know this. This was a basic knowledge. But now comes main question. Do you know how to offset which one against which one? Like if you have input tax credit and you have liability, which one to offset first? You have CGST input tax credit and IGST liability. Which one to offset? How to offset? Many people might not be aware. So there are 4 mark sums in exam. And I think even in MCQ, such sums can easily be asked. Okay, so I will explain you through a story. This entire thing मैं आपको एक story की तरह explain करूंगा. ये देखो. See, suppose COVID-19 vaccine is introduced. Just सोचने में क्या आ जाता है? Okay, now I'm explaining manner of utilization of credit. These are all the sections and the circular number. This is not that important for your examiners. Section numbers and all. It's okay. Currently, I'm telling you a story regarding medicines. See, suppose India, COVID vaccine is invented and India, China and Sri Lanka has now certain stock of medicine. Okay, how are the stock? India has stock of medicine 50,000. China has say 10,000 and Sri Lanka has 5,000. These are the medicines available with India, China, Sri Lanka. Okay, but in India, suppose requirement is only 40,000. Available 50, requirement 40. In China, available 10, requirement is 15. And in Sri Lanka, available is 5, requirement is 10. So India has surplus. So now you all are Indians. So first, you think about India only. I repeat, this story is very important. You all are Indians. So first, you will think of India. India will first give to India. Always which you will touch India. India will first give the medicine, obviously, to the Indian people. So what was the requirement? 40,000. What was the availability? 50,000. So out of 50, 40 it met the requirement. Okay, India still has surplus of 10,000. Now India believes in donation. You all know what donate करती है. So India, China and Sri Lanka को request कर not to utilize your stock. India is requesting China and Sri Lanka, do not use your stock. You have 10,000 China, keep it with you. Sri Lanka, you have 5,000, keep it with you. First, utilize my stock. I have surplus of 10,000. So India requests China and Sri Lanka to take it in any order. What did I say? To take it in any order. So out of 10,000 of India, China takes 6,000 medicines. Okay, so China had requirement of 15,000. Now how much will be left? 9,000. And India still has surplus of 4,000. Now this 4,000 India is giving to Sri Lanka. So now India's stock is over and Sri Lanka's requirement is still 6,000. Fair enough? Fair enough. Now see what has happened. China demand is 9,000, available is 10,000. It meets its requirement. Still it has surplus. And Sri Lanka, it has requirement of 6,000, available only 5,000. Let us meet, still it has shortage. If you see carefully, China has excess and Sri Lanka has shortage. They can give to each other, right? China straight away refuses. China straight away refuses. I will not give you any stock. Sri Lanka, if you have shortage, let it be. So what happened here? China carried forward that stock and Sri Lanka had to face the shortage. You understood this story? Now, why I'm telling you this story? What is the relevance of this story? Now, this India think as IGST, China think as CGST, and Sri Lanka think as SGST. The same example I will explain now through this point. Okay, instead of medicine, say input tax credit is this much. Okay, and instead of demand, it is liability. IG, CG, and SG. Now, what did you understand in previous example? What did you understand in previous? That first, you being an Indian, you will touch India. Okay, obviously, step number one is always to touch India. India means IGST. So see this. IGST ITC is 50,000 or 40,000. Sorry, 50,000. And liability is 40. First, India will give to India. In short, IGST will first be utilized against IGST. Okay, understood. Still, there is a surplus of 10,000. Now, what had happened? India had told China and Sri Lanka, don't use your stock. Let my stock be first zero. In short, IGST, unless IGST ITC becomes zero, you cannot touch CG and SG. You cannot touch CG and SG. So IGST first against IGST, and then IGST ITC can be utilized against CG and SG in any order, but advisable 50-50. Always in exam, in real life also do 50-50. Act may what is written in any order. So out of 10,000, it is giving to China in CGST 6,000. So now CGST liability still is 9,000 and IGST ITC is still pending 4. Unless IGST ITC becomes 0, do not touch CG and SG. Still IGST ITC 4 is there, give it to SG. Give it to SG. Now IGST ITC became 0. This is your step number 1 in sums. We will do few sums now. So you need to answer on chat then. So this is the step number 1. IGST ITC should first be 0. Now step 2, touch CGST ITC. See, China. Pehle India, फिर China, then Sri Lanka. CGST liability is 9,000. ITC is 10,000. Let us utilize. Still there is a surplus. Excess ITC is available. Step 3, SGST. Liability is 6,000. ITC is 5,000. Let us meet that. Still there is a shortage. Now what will happen then? Sri Lanka begged China to give. What did China say? I will not give. In short, CGST ITC can never be utilized against SGST liability or vice versa. CG and SG आमने सामने कभी set off नहीं हो सकते. CG and SG can never be set off against each other. So what will be the conclusion here? Whatever the excess is there, it will be carried forward of CG. And whatever shortage is there, you need to pay this SGST shortage of 1,000. You need to pay this 1,000. Okay, so this is how you need to do sums. What is step 1? Step 1, IGST ITC should become 0. India. IG means India. India will first give to whom? India. After its demand or liability is over, then it will go to China or Sri Lanka in any order. In any order. Advisable what? Always 50-50. Advisable always 50-50. Okay, so that's the same thing is returned. CGST ITC, China can never give to Sri Lanka. No, China and Sri Lanka will never give to each other. In short, CGST ITC can never be utilized against SG and vice versa. SGST ITC can never be utilized against CG. Clear? Yeah, this is how the steps. These are the steps to do the sum. When I will explain you the sum, at that time you people need to answer first. Then I will explain. Okay, so keep calculator and a small book in hand. That's sufficient. It's 5 minute sum, which could be your exam question. Okay, now the same example. Again, I'm repeating in a different way. See, there is same India, China, Sri Lanka. But now India has medicine how much? Only 35,000. Demand is 40,000. So there is shortage in India. China available is 22. Demand is only 15 surplus. And Sri Lanka available is 8, always shortage. Requirement is 11,000. So now you being an Indian, what you will touch first? First you will touch IGST. First you will touch India. First you will touch India. So India, out of 40,000, it had 35,000 available. Let us give that. Now India's medicines became 0 and still there is a shortage. Still there is a shortage. Okay, now China. Step 1 is over. IGST ITC became 0. India's ITC became 0. Step number 2, now we will touch CGST. Okay, China. China, first, it had requirement of 50 and available 22. Obviously, China will first give to itself. So China is first giving to itself. And if there is a surplus, whatever surplus, it is ready to give to India. See, China agrees to give stock of medicine to India. In short, CGST ITC can be utilized against IGST. Only CG and SG can never be utilized against each other. But CGST ITC can be utilized against liability of IGST. So China available ITC is 7,000. And out India's IGST liability is 5,000. It can give it. Okay, so now IGST liability became 0. And China still has surplus of 2,000. Fair? Fair. Now comes third step. Now comes third step. Sri Lanka means SGST. Okay, so Sri Lanka's liability is 11,000, but medicine available is only 8,000. So let us give that. Let us finish that. 8,000. Still there is a shortage of 3,000. Now, if you carefully see, China has surplus of 2,000. Sri Lanka has shortage like always of 3,000. Can China give to Sri Lanka? Answer is no. Answer is absolutely no. You will have to carry forward this CGST ITC of 2,000 and you need to pay this shortage of 3,000. Okay, so now I will explain the same point through this. What had happened? You had IGST ITC. First step number 1 is what? India's ITC should become 0. IGST ITC should become 0. So ITC is 35,000. First, India will give to India. IG against IG. Let us set off. Still, there is liability of 5,000. Step 1 is over. Now come to step 2, CGST means China. China demand is 15,000, available is 22,000 ITC. So China will obviously give to China first. Okay, and then if there is a shortage or surplus, it can give to India. It can give to IGST. So CGST ITC will then be utilized against IGST liability. Clear? Clear? And now finally what happened? IGST liability became 0 and still CGST ITC of 2000 is there as surplus. You can see. Now comes step 3, Sri Lanka means SGST. Okay, SGST ITC. First, SG will give to SG. Sri Lanka will give to Sri Lanka. Obviously, there is a given, but still there is a shortage. Can CGST ITC be utilized against SGST liability? Answer is big no. You cannot. Okay, so what will you do? You will carry forward the CGST ITC of 2000 and you need to pay this SGST liability of 3,000. This is how you need to do. This is how you need to do. You're getting the point. This is difficult one, but when you do the sums at that time, you will come to know this point. Okay, chalo, see this. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah. Now, if you have in question CGST ITC, step 2, step 1 is over. Step 2, if you have CGST ITC, means China. First, it will give to whom? Obviously, China. Again, CG. And if there is pending, it will give to whom? To India, IG. It can never give to SG. It can never give to SG. So step 1, IGST ITC 0. Step 2, CGST ITC 0. And then step 3, SGST ITC you will touch. Please remember step wise. Step 1, IGST, India. Step 2, China. And step 3, Sri Lanka. This is how you need to adjust the ITC. Okay, similarly, if in question, you have SGST ITC. First, you will utilize against SG. If anything pending, you can give to IG. Clear? And the same step, step 1, IGST ITC 0. Step 2, CGST ITC 0. And step 3, SGST ITC we need to resolve. These are the 3 steps you need to follow. Clear? Now, one illustration I will like to give to you. You need to solve this. Give me answer on chat and I will explain you ledger wise. मैं आपको GST portal पे लेके जाऊंगा. I will take you to the GST portal and I will explain you the ledger wise, how to incorporate this ledger wise. Okay, so first I want answer from you. You people, please answer me. See this question number 1 in front of you. Suppose I am a trader of goods. I am purchasing, I am giving details of purchase and sales during Feb 2020, not 18, it is 20. During Feb 20, I had sold goods. During Feb 20, I had sold goods and I had following GST liability. See this, my liability. IGST 1,25,000 means India. CGST 1,10,000 means China. SGST 1,10,000 means Sri Lanka. These are their demand, liability. And now I am sharing you the Feb 20 input tax credit detail. मतलब मेरे पास इतना स्टॉक है. China has 1,43,000. Sri Lanka has 1,43,000. India does not have any stock. So step 1 is gone. Straight away step 2 and 3 pay you will jump. I want you people to answer me. What shall be the GST liability for the month of Feb 18? I give you 1 minute. Tell me how much amount and which tax you are required to pay. IG, CG or SG and what is the amount? I will give you 1 minute. Try. No reply so far? Anyone can reply the answer here? So far I have not received any answer yesterday. Okay. Chalo. Okay. Okay. Now see how to solve this sum. You people can reply on chat, no, something is blocked because yesterday many were answering, questioning. Today I'm unable to see any questions. Okay, see how to solve this sum. Let us try to understand that. Let us try to understand how to solve this entire sum. See what I told you. You had liability, GST liability on outward supply. How much was your liability? 1,25,000, 1,10,000 CG and 1,10,000 SG. Okay, now in which ledger this go? I will all explain that. Okay, second, you had input tax credit of 143, 143 CG and SG. What did I tell you? What is step number 1? Step number 1 is that India's ITC should become 0. In short, IGST ITC should become 0. But in question, IGST ITC is already 0. IGST ITC is already 0. So there is no need to worry about that. That step is not required. Now comes second step. What is step 2? We will focus on CGST ITC. CGST ITC is to be utilized against CGST liability. CGST ITC to be utilized against CGST liability. See this. This is what? This is the way. So CGST liability is 1,10,000. CGST ITC is 1,43,000. You can see CGST liability is 1,10,000. CGST ITC is 143. So out of 143, let us give 1,10,000 to CGST. China has given to China. Still there is a surplus. China still has surplus. Yes, Balance CGST ITC, whatever left, 33,000, it will give to India, means IGST. So balance 33,357, it has given to IGST. So what happened here? Finally left 92,484 IGST still payable. India still has shortage. Okay, now comes step 3. Now comes step 3, SGST ITC. Okay, what is this step 3, SGST ITC? Now SGST, Sri Lanka has medicine of 1,40,000 and it has demand of only 1,10,000. Let us meet that first. See this, it met. Still Sri Lanka has surplus ITC. Still it has surplus ITC of 33. It will give to India. Sri Lanka will also give to India. So out of that 143, 1,10,000 is utilized. Balance 33,000 it will give to India, means IGST. So how much is payable at the end? 59,127. IGST liability paid. 59,127. This you will pay through a challan. This you will pay through a challan. Okay, so this is how I wanted an answer. I think something is blocked today. You people cannot reply on chat. If there is such things, then I need to call to that, or you people cannot reply on chat. I think so today. Only I can reply. Okay, okay. I will ask the coordinator after half an hour. See, okay, now I will explain the same example ledger wise. See, same example I will explain you how ledger wise. See how this will work. As I told you, what is your GST liability? How much you have sale and how much GST you have collected? 1,25,000, 1,10,000 and 1,10,000. Whatever GST you collect, it goes to which ledger? See this. On sale, whatever GST you collect, it goes to electronic liability register. Because I've collected GST, it's my liability to pay. So where it will go? Electronic liability register. Okay, now the same amount you will be able to see this 1,25,000. You see this electronic liability register. Okay, this is what is there. And now this much GST you are collected. IG, CG and SC. 1,25,000, 1,10,000 and 1,10,000. Matching? Matching. So these are all exam questions. Electronic liability register. Second, now this is your input tax credit. This is your input tax credit. On purchases, you have availed input tax credit of 143, 143. This goes to which ledger? This goes to which ledger? See, let us check. The name is suggesting input tax credit. So it will go to which ledger? See the services ledger, electronic credit ledger. It goes to electronic credit ledger. Purchase pay, services pay, whatever GST you pay, whatever ITC is available, you can get it in electronic credit ledger. You can check it. See this. Getting it 1,43,000 CGS, 1,43,000 SGS. Matching. Okay, now after this, you have utilized all the ITC, which I explained to you. Okay, so this after utilizing, your final answer come 59,127. This you will pay through challan. This you will pay through challan. So see this. You will pay through challan. This is your challan. Okay, when you, sorry. This is your challan. When you go for just GST portal, you need to create challan. You need to pay na 59,127. So how much I need to pay? IGST 59,127. Okay, now see one by one objective questions are coming here. You click on e-payment, or three options are there. You can make online payment, NEFT, anything. And when you generate challan, you get a 14-digit CPIN number, common portal identification number. This is valid for 15 days. This challan is valid for 15 days. You can pay this till 15 days. After that, new challan is required. And then you have to select your bank and make the final payment. You need to select the bank and make the final payment. Understood? So what was the crux? 14 digit. What is the number? Common portal identification number, CPIN number. Okay, and after you make the payment, after making this challan payment, it goes to which ledger? Electronic cash ledger. When you pay the challan, it goes to which ledger? Electronic cash ledger. So these are the ledgers which are important. These are the ledgers which are very, very important. Okay, clear? Yeah. Now just 1 second, I'm calling to that administrator that why it is mute, why you people cannot reply on chat. Just 1 second. ક્વેશ્ચન્સ થાય છે પણ કોઈનો રિપ્લાય ન થયો. હા 1 સેકન્ડ. હા છે સોરી હું ચેટ્સમાં. Yeah, now I can see your questions and all. Okay, see this. Someone has returned to explain the challan again. See this challan. See, when you go to services, you go to payment, and then you click on create challan. This is your challan which is there. 59127 is IGST. Okay, so in IGST 59127 you have to click. Okay, now when you click on e-payment, all your three options, over the counter, NEFT or e-payment. There is a 14-digit C-PIN number, which is known as Common Portal Identification Number. This is valid for 15 days. 15 days you can make the payment. 15 days. After that, you need to generate new channel. Okay, then you select the net banking, and whichever bank is available, any one bank you can select and make the payment. After you make the payment, it goes to which ledger? Electronic cash ledger. When your payment is successful, it goes to which ledger? Electronic cash ledger. Clear? So this is how you need to do it. Okay. I hope you have understood this point. Now, one more question I will like to ask you. See this. 59127, many have answered correctly. Now I was unable to see the chat. Now I can see all things. Chalo. Second question to all of you. You people have to reply on chat to me. Again, I am a trader of goods. I am sharing you the details of April 18. During April 18, I collected GST. My GST liability was IGST 5 lakh, CGST 3 lakh, SGST 3 lakh. But during April 18, my ITC, my input tax credit was IGST 6 lakh, CGST 60,000, and SGST 60,000. I want you people to answer me how much IG, CG, SG, what is payable and what is the amount. Step 1, Hamesha, India's ITC should become 0. In short, IGST ITC should become 0. That is your step 1. Try everyone. Come on, try everyone. Yeah, Apurva, very good. You need to calculate GST liability, sir. You can't see on the screen. There is question is there on the screen. See, this is your question. This is your question. IGST liability is 5 lakh. CGST is 3 lakh. SGST is 3 lakh. And during April 18, you have input tax credit. IGST 6 lakh. CGST 60,000. SGST 60,000. First, you have to touch India's IGST. Means India's stock should become 0. Come on, try everyone. Yeah. Many people have already answered correct. Very good. Very good. Okay. Very good. Very good. 140, 240 is not the wrong answer, but I always advise you to take 50-50. That is just my advice. I will not say it's a wrong answer. It's a correct answer. Okay, chalo, very good. Most of the people have answered it well. See this. Now, what I told you, GST liability on outward supplies. GST liability on outward supplies, how much? 5 lakh, 3 lakh, and 3 lakh. This is what GST have collected. What is my input tax credit? IGST 6 lakh, CGST 60,000, and SGST 60,000. Now, what did I tell you? Step number 1, India's ITC should become 0. In short, IGST ITC should become 0. See this. IGST ITC has to first become 0. India will first give to India. IGST ITC will first be utilized against IGST liability. See this. So you have liability of 5 lakh, input tax credit of 6 lakh. Let us adjust that. And whatever balance 1 lakh is there, you can give to China and Sri Lanka, or you can give to CG and SG in any order. What did I advise? Give it always 50-50. So 5 lakh is utilized, and whatever balance 1 lakh is there, you give to CG and SG in any order. I will say 50-50. You can give it in any ratio, no stoppage. I will always advise 50-50. So how much balance is left? 2 lakh 50 for China or CGST, 2 lakh 50 for SGST. Still there is a shortage. Still there is a shortage. Okay, but China has ITC of 60,000. Let us utilize that. Step 2. So China have utilized, and Sri Lanka will give to Sri Lanka. In short, SG will give to SG. So finally, how much is payable? CGST 1 lakh 90, SGST 1 lakh 90. This is your final liability which you are required to pay. Which is your final liability which you are required to pay. Okay, so this is the point which I wanted to explain to. This is how you need to do the sum. First, always IGST ITC should become 0. This is a rule by government. It's compulsory. You need to follow this only. Understood? Chalo. Now comes next point. Input tax credit on capital goods. This is what yesterday you were asking. Let us understand how the input tax credit works on capital goods. Chalo. Let us see the point. Suppose Mr. P is asking you one question. He is asking to government. That government, just 1 second, I'm reducing the size. Yeah, now I can see you all. See what Paresh Rawal sir is asking. That government, I have purchased capital goods. I have purchased plant and machinery of rupees 10 crore. Plus I have paid 18% GST in April 2020. He has purchased plant and machinery and he has paid for 10 crore plus 18% GST. In income tax, you must be aware about depreciation. He is asking whether he can avail entire ITC of 1.8 crore on day 1, or he can take ITC proportionately 15% every year. What is your opinion? Can Mr. Paresh avail entire ITC of 1.8 crore immediately, or it can avail in certain way? It can avail depreciation wise. What is your opinion? Proportionately. Okay. Capital goods you need to take proportionately. Okay. Someone is writing immediately. 15%. Very good. Very good, Saurabh. Proportionately. Excellent. See the answer. See the answer. That means you don't know the point. You can avail entire input tax credit on day 1. You can avail entire 1.8 crore on day 1. Kindly avail entire 1.8 crore on day 1 itself. When you purchase the capital goods, you can avail immediately entire ITC. Okay, but what is the condition? There is a condition. What is the condition? Condition is you cannot remove or you cannot sell. You cannot remove or you cannot sell this asset for how many years? 5 years. You cannot sell or remove this asset for 5 years. Okay. 1 year means how many quarters? 4. The 5 years means how many quarters? 20 quarters. Hence, in short, you cannot sell or remove the capital asset for 20 quarters. Getting it? This is the condition. This is the condition. For capital good, take the ITC immediately, but you cannot sell or discard for 20 quarters. Correct? Now they are questioning, what if I sell for rupees 3 crore after using it for 15 quarters? What is the question? What if I sell the capital goods within 15 quarters? What will happen? What will happen? See, government says there are 2 points in this. Please understand, because there are 2 sums which you will solve. Point number 1. Then jitna quarter means whatever quarter you have used, per quarter 5% shall be allowed. See, 20, what they have said, 20 quarter if you use, it will be allowed, fully allowed. Okay, what is the condition? You cannot sell for 20 quarters. In short, per quarter 5% shall be allowed, and whatever remaining quarters which you have not used, that you are required to reverse it. That you are required to reverse. Balance you are required to pay. See, I will explain this point again. What is the point here? See this. You are allowing entire ITC on day 1, but you cannot sell, you cannot remove for 5 years. When I say 5 years, 1 year equal to 4 quarters, so 5 year equal to 20 quarters. You cannot remove the asset for 20 quarters. You cannot touch also for 20 quarters. Fair enough? What if you sell within 20 quarters? So what government says? You avail on day 1, but if you sell, then per quarter 5% shall be allowed. So if you have used for 15 quarters, so 75% shall be allowed. Remaining 25%. Remaining 25% you are required to pay. You are required to pay because it will be treated, your ITC shall be reversed. You need to pay 0.45 crore. Understood? So 1.8 crore into 75%. 1.35 shall be allowed. 1.8 into 25%. 0.45 crore shall be reversed. This is the option 1. This is option 1. Or option 2. There is one more option. Actual GST collected on rupees 3 crore. I sold the asset for 3 crore. On that 3 crore also I am required to collect GST. Okay, so now I have sold that asset for 3 crore. On 3 crore also I am collecting 18%, 54 lakh, whichever is higher. So option 1, either I have to reverse 45 lakh, or option 2, I am required to pay 54 lakh, whichever is higher. Clear? Clear? This is how you need to do it. This is how. Either per option 1. Method 1 is what? What is method 1? Method 1 is how many quarters you have used? Per quarter, 5% shall be allowed. Okay, so how many quarters you used? 15 quarters. So 75% shall be allowed. Out of 1.8, 1.35 you can take. But balance 0.45 crore, 25% I am required to pay. You are required to reverse your ITC. Or method number 2, I sold it for 3 crore. On that 3 crore, I have to collect GST of 18%. So 54 lakh rupees, whichever is higher. Whichever is higher. This is the method you need to apply when you sell the capital good. In exam, that could be such questions also. And why not? Why not? Now, chalo. I will ask you 2 questions. You people need to reply me on chat. See this. Question number 1. First, let us understand again. When I sell the capital goods, how I need to pay? Whatever ITC I had taken, per quarter 5% allowed. The remaining quarter I am required to reverse it. Or whatever GST I am collected on sale, whichever is higher. What if I used for part of the quarter? Means January, February, March. Suppose I sold in Feb. Should I count that quarter or not? Government says even if 1 day of the quarter you have used, it will be counted as entire quarter used. Even if 1 quarter you have 1 day, ek din bhi use kiya, it will be deemed that you have taken entire quarter that you have used. Clear? So this is how you need to understand and answer me this question. Everyone, please try. I'm Mr. A. I purchased capital goods of 1 lakh plus 12% GST on 1st of July 19. Clear? I avail ITC immediately. Day 1, I availed 12,000 rupees. Now, I discarded this asset in 15 July 2022. Okay, without consideration. My query to all of you, how much GST I am required to reverse my ITC? How much GST I am required to pay? How much ITC shall be reversed? Can you all answer? Try. Part of the quarter is as good as full quarter use. Come on, please, everyone. You people need to answer such questions. 3,000, according to me, let's see. Whatever quarter you have used, per quarter 5% shall be allowed. And whatever quarter you have not used, per quarter 5% shall be reversed. Common sense. Okay, chalo, next answer. 4,200 to be reversed. I think that is correct answer. 4,200. The only mistake you will make is counting in number of quarters. Let me see. Okay, chalo, good. See, what shall be the GST payable? Let us understand stepwise. See, when did I purchase? On 1st July. I will avail ITC immediately. Day 1, I avail the ITC. Now, I was told how many quarters to be used? 20. Did I use? No, I'm selling it on 15th of July 2022. So, I was required to use for 20 quarters. How many quarters I have used? You can see from 1st July to March 20, it comes to 3 quarters. From April 20 to March 21, it comes to 4. I'm counting financial year. From April 21 to March 22, again it comes 4. From April 22 to June 22 is 1 quarter. And July you have used for 15 days. That shall also be counted as 1 quarter. So in short, you have used for 13 quarters. You have used this capital goods for 13 quarters. You have not used for 7 quarters. So for remaining 7 quarters, I am required to reverse per quarter 5%. Per quarter 5%. Okay, so what will be the answer? 12,000 into 35%, 4,200. I am required to reverse and pay this amount. Reverse and pay this amount. Understood? This is how you need to do the sum. Such sums might come in exam. It might come in your exam. This can come in objective also. Why not? Take any 1 out of 4. Okay, so see, the mistake is there in quarters. You can make mistake in quarters. Many have said 6,600 because they have made mistake in quarters. Clear? Chalo, one more sum I want you people to do. See this. Suppose I'm XYZ Limited. I purchased machine on 1st of July 2017 for rupees 10 lakh, on which I paid IGST of 18%. Okay, I've availed input tax credit and utilized it. On 2nd October 2018, I sold the machinery for 7 lakh 50. What shall be the GST liability for the sale of capital good for 7 lakh 50? Both the methods apply and solve. Apply both the methods. Come on, everyone. Now don't make mistake in quarters. 2nd October, 2 days you have used, it will be counted as full quarter used. Even if 2 days you have used, it is counted as full quarter used. %18 also on second hand. 1 minute. 1 lakh 35. Okay, good. Let us see. I don't know. Maybe it is 1,26,000. Let me see. Everyone is saying 1,35,000. Okay. Someone has said 1,26,000. Very good. Chalo. So most of your approach is correct. Most of your approach answer is correct. See, 126 and 135 both are correct. But what did I say? Whichever is higher. So answer will be 135. See this point. You have availed ITC of 1,80,000 first day. Very good. You were required to take. Capital asset is used from 1st July to 2nd October. Means how many quarters? Count is financial year wise. From 1st July to 31st March, 3 quarters. Okay, April to June, 4th quarter. And 5th July to September, 5th quarter. And 2 days of October, 6 quarters. We have used it for 6 quarters. Okay, so out of 20 quarters, we have only used for 6 quarters. So 54,000 shall be allowed and balance 1,26,000 I am required to pay. I am required to reverse or I am required to pay. Okay, but now I sold this for 7,50,000. On 7,50,000, the rate of GST is 18%. 7,50,000 into 18, 1,35,000. Whichever is higher, I am required to pay. So 1,26,000 or 1,35,000, whichever is higher, I am required to pay. So I will be required to pay 1,35,000 in this case. Understood? So most of you have given correct answer. So now you realize how to solve when it is capital goods. Okay, you have understood two type of sums. One IG, CG, SG, which one to offset, and second this one, capital goods. This notes also I will share it with you. Don't worry. Okay, no, there are not 5 quarters. There are 6 quarters. Check it properly. There are 6 quarters because 2 days of October, 2 days of October, that will be also counted as 1 quarter. So there are 6 quarters. Okay, chalo. Now I take you to next problem, reverse charge mechanism. Reverse charge mechanism, this point, very, very important. Very, very important reverse charge. See this. First, let us understand what is the concept of forward charge. Then let us understand what is reverse charge in GST. See this point. How forward charge works. How forward charge works. Suppose I am a seller and then I will explain you the reverse. Suppose I am a seller, supplier. To this recipient, I am selling goods of 1 lakh plus 18% GST. To this recipient, I am selling goods of 1 lakh plus 18% GST. Okay, now this recipient will pay me 1,18,000. This 1 lakh I will keep and 18,000 I will pay to the supplier. Sorry, government. So in short, supplier collects GST and pay it to the government. Supplier collects GST and pay it to the government. This is normal forward charge. Understood? But now, say if you go to a restaurant, yesterday also I explained you that. If you go to a restaurant, you order food, restaurant is providing you services. Restaurant is providing you food service. You pay bill of 1,120 to the supplier, restaurant. Restaurant will keep 1,000 and balance 50 rupees, it will pay to the government. So again, restaurant collected GST and paid it to the government. This is how you need to do it forward charge. But now there is a concept of reverse charge. Section 9, subsection 3. What is reverse charge in GST? What do you mean by reverse charge in GST? See this. Suppose I am a seller. You all are buyer. आप सब buyer बन जाओ. Okay, so I am a seller. I am selling goods to you for 1 lakh rupees. Okay. Now, as a recipient, you will pay me only 1 lakh rupees. And as a recipient, you will directly pay GST to the government under reverse charge. So normally what happens? Supplier collects and pay GST to the government. Under reverse charge, the recipient, the buyer will directly pay GST to the government. This is the concept of reverse charge. This is the concept of reverse charge. Okay. So suppose example 1, I am a supplier. I am giving you services of 3 lakh. As a recipient, you will only pay me 3 lakh. Okay, and इस पे जो GST applicable, that you will directly pay it to the government. You will directly pay it to the government. Okay, so this is how reverse charge will work. Clear? I hope it is clear to you, the concept of reverse charge. Now, there are few services which I will like to cover. Reverse charge mechanism for service provided by insurance agent to insurance company. Example, see this, LIC is an insurance company. I'm an LIC agent here. I'm Mr. A, I'm an LIC agent. From many people, I get the policies. I get the policies for LIC company. Okay, from many people, I get the policies of LIC company. For that, LIC will pay me some commission. So who is a service provider? Mr. A. I brought policy. Who is the service receiver? LIC. It receives services. And LIC paid commission to me. So I brought policies. For that, LIC paid commission to me. Whatever commission LIC will pay to me, whatever commission receiver will pay to me, on that, receiver shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Okay, why? Because there are crores of LIC agents, but company is only one. So that's why it is on the recipient. That recipient shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Similarly, if suppose there is Mr. B, he also brought policies of 5 crores. For that, LIC paid commission of how much? 19 lakh rupees. Okay, on this 19 lakh rupees, whatever amount is commission, LIC shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism to the government. Okay, so service receiver, goods receiver will pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Clear? So this is the first point of reverse charge mechanism. Just like this point, there is one more point. One more point, recovery agent. What do you mean by recovery agent? Means suppose your people have taken loan from ICICI and then you default. You don't pay to ICICI. Then there are some legal recovery agent. They will come to you, they will recover money, all the documents they will prepare, and then they will give to bank. Okay, so suppose Mr. A is a recovery agent. It recovered loans for ICICI Bank. You people defaulted. So Mr. A recovered the loan and gave to ICICI. For that, ICICI paid certain commission. For that, ICICI paid commission of 18 lakh. See this. Now, whatever commission of 18 lakh is there, on this 18 lakh, the receiver bank shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Clear? Clear? So who was the supplier? Recovery agent. It brought policies, or it brought that loan. Who is the receiver? Recovery agent. ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Similarly, it is Mr. B. Mr. B, he is also a recovery agent. He also brought that loan recovery from all of you and gave it to the bank. So Mr. B is a supplier. ICICI is a receiver. For that, ICICI paid commission of 15 lakh. On this 15 lakh, bank shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Clear? Okay, so this is how you need to understand why the reverse charge is introduced. There are a number of suppliers, lakhs of suppliers, but only few receivers. So responsibility is on the receiver to pay GST. Responsibility is on the receiver to pay GST. Clear? This is how you need to remember. Okay, chalo. Now let's move to sponsorship. Reverse charge mechanism for sponsorship service. I will give you one example. Try to understand that, and then you will understand this example. Yes, GTA was also there. Suppose I will tell you one story. Has not happened in reality. It's just for your understanding. Suppose IPL. IPL is organizing cricket matches in summer of 2020. You must be watching it. Now, IPL is huge brand. Many people, crores of people watch it. So there is one Pepsi. Pepsi thought that IPL is the best platform for advertisement. Okay, Pepsi thought IPL is the best platform for advertisement. So Pepsi approached IPL to give advertising service. So who is a supplier? IPL. Who is a supplier in this case? IPL. One second. Yeah, now it's okay. Yeah. So now Pepsi approached IPL to give advertising service. IPL agreed to provide advertising service. So who is a supplier? IPL. Who is the receiver? Pepsi. Because of that, on all the boundaries, if you will see carefully, there are logos of Pepsi. This is what? Advertising. Okay. Whosoever is thirsty will get water in the glass of Pepsi. Whosoever is thirsty will get water in the glass of Pepsi. This is what? Advertising. Also on trophies, if you see, there are logo of Pepsi. What is this? This is kind of advertisement. So IPL is providing advertising to Pepsi. Okay, for that, IPL collected 5 crore rupees from Pepsi plus GST. Okay, so Pepsi paid 5 crore rupee to IPL. This is IPL's money. And Pepsi paid 90 lakh GST to IPL. So IPL collected the GST and paid to the government under forward charge. Under forward charge, no reverse charge so far. So far, there is no reverse charge. Clear? IPL collected GST and paid it to the government. Now comes the main point. Now Pepsi thought, yeah, why to bear this burden of GST? 90 lakh rupees unnecessary, these are going waste. It manipulated the same transaction. Pepsi manipulated the same transaction. See how it explained. It told government that, boss, I never approached IPL. IPL had approached me for sponsorship. Kya bola? IPL did not have money, so IPL approached me for sponsorship. Hence, Pepsi gave money. And in return, they are putting logo on the boundaries. In return of sponsorship, they are putting logos of Pepsi and on trophies also. So, this time IPL is not giving me any advertising. I have given sponsorship, nothing else. This is what Pepsi is saying. That this transaction is sponsorship. This transaction is sponsorship. Money given, that's why it is giving this services. So it manipulated and it is saying GST not applicable. IPL is not giving me any advertising. I am giving sponsorship. Government straight away came into picture that Pepsi, you are too smart, but we are smarter than you. Sponsorship is nothing but what? Indirectly. Advertising it. It is indirectly an advertising service. My Pepsi's intention was not donation. It wanted an advertising, but indirectly. Hence, what government did? So whosoever will give the sponsorship money, I repeat, whosoever will give the sponsorship money will pay GST under reverse charge. See this. What happened here? Pepsi paid sponsorship money. Now, Pepsi paid 5 crore rupees as sponsorship. On that, Pepsi will directly pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Clear? So IPL will not collect and pay. Now, in fact, Pepsi will have to pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Clear? So this is what the sponsorship point is. Sponsorship point is there. Okay? IPL only should pay, but if you give a sponsorship, then we will have to pay. Then we will have to pay. Okay, normally what happens? IPL gives advertising service, then IPL will collect GST and pay. But if you manipulate and say sponsorship, then you will have to pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Fair enough? So this is how this transaction will work here. Clear? Chalo. Now advocate service. See, this is advocate service. Many must you be aware about it. You know who drafted the GST law? Yes, chartered accountant, cost accountant, we are all supported it. But who drafted entire GST law, if you are aware? These people are who? Advocates. Advocates are the people who have drafted the GST law. So when you draft the law, obviously you will keep yourself safe. Obviously you will keep yourself safe. So see how this provision is there for advocate. Suppose I am an advocate. I have drafted GST law, na? So obviously मैंने कैसे बनाया? Suppose you people, you want some advice from advocate. I repeat, you people, you want some advice from an advocate for your residence, not office, personal purpose. Okay, so now an advocate is giving service to all of you for a personal residence, non-business purpose. Okay, non-business purpose. I charge you 5,000 rupees. Now, whatever amount I collect, such amount is exempt under GST. Such amount is exempt under GST. So when advocate collect amount from an unregistered person for their personal purpose, residence, no question of GST. Whatever amount is earned by advocate, there is no question of GST. Okay. Unnikrishnan sir, if you can unmute, sir. Unnikrishnan sir. Yeah, please, sir. Okay, so this is the first point where advocate is service are exempt. Second point, suppose you all are running a business. Now you are not doing personal, you are running business, profession. But naya start hua hai. So your turnover is below 20 lakh. Turnover is below 20 lakh. You take advice service from an advocate for your business, but you are unregistered. Turnover below 20 lakh rupees. Okay, I charge you 5,000. Again, whatever amount I recover from you is exempt. Again, it is exempt. So I will not collect GST from you, nor you will pay GST. Again, it is exempt. Okay, third point. I am an advocate. You are an advocate. You require some consultancy from me. So one advocate is giving services to another advocate. I collected 5,000 from you. You know who will pay? Again exempt. Again exempt. Okay, so far advocate don't have to pay anything. And last one. Suppose I am an advocate and you are a big business entity. Very big business entity. Turnover in crores, lakhs. Okay. You take consultancy from advocate. You take legal services from advocate. Business entity. Turnover about 20 lakh rupees. Okay. Turnover about 20 lakh rupees. Now I charge you 5,000 rupees. On this 5,000, you know who will pay GST? Boss, you will pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. I am a supplier, advocate. You are a recipient. You will pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Clear? This is how you need to remember it. Advocates are so smart. They are prepared in such a way that for them, there is no question of GST. Either it is exempt or it is covered under reverse charge mechanism. Clear about this point? Okay. Chalo, let's move to next point. Security service. Now this point is little bit complicated. Little bit complicated. Need your attention and focus here. See, security services. First, what do you mean by security service? What do you mean by security service? Security service means supply of security guards or security personnel. I repeat, security service means supply of security guard or security service. Okay? See, when someone is asking me, you are not carefully saying, sir, what is the difference between second and fourth? The second in that the turnover is up to 20 lakh, unregistered, and in fourth turnover is about 20 lakh, registered in GST. That is the difference between two. Please see carefully, sir. Okay, chalo. Okay, chalo. Now next point, let's move. See, there is no such thing as manpower services now. That was there in year. Now it is renamed as security service. You can say as manpower, but not exactly, because in service tax it was there. Now it is GST, it is renamed as security services. See this. Security service means what? Supply by way of a security person. Security person. Matlab what I am supplying to you? Security guards. Please, all of you, kind attention is required because there are three conditions. Three conditions are there. Condition one. When the RCM is attracted, the supplier, जो भी supplier है, who are supplying security guard, is a person other than body corporate. Other than, so if I am in a body corporate means what? Company, private limited, those kind. Public limited, listed companies, those are known as body corporate. Okay, so suppose I'm an individual. I am supplying security guards. Then that is applicable. So condition 2 is what? The supplier should be other than body corporate. And condition 3 is what? The recipient. The recipient should be registered in GST. If all the three conditions are satisfied, then only reverse charge is applicable, else it is not applicable. Else it is not applicable. So what are the three? Point number 1. Which service I'm supplying? Security guards. Security guards. What is the second? The supplier should be other than body corporate. And third, the recipient should be registered in GST Act. If the recipient is all the three are satisfied, reverse charge is applicable. Clear? Chalo, let us see this. Example number 1. Suppose I am Mr. A, individual, but other than body corporate, supply. Okay, to this shopping mall, which is registered in GST, I am supplying security guards. For that, they paid me 10,000 rupees. Now my query to all of you, on this 10,000, whether Mr. A shall collect and pay GST or whether the shopping mall shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Very good. Very good. Very good. Chalo, perfect. See, all the three conditions are satisfied. Condition 1, I'm a supplier. I'm other than body corporate. Condition 2, which service I'm supplying? Security guards. Condition 3, the shopping mall is registered in GST. All three conditions are satisfied. Shopping mall shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Clear? Now question number 2 to you. Again, I am Mr. A. Okay, to this cooperative housing society, you stay in cooperative housing society. Okay, so to this cooperative housing society, which is unregistered in GST, unregistered in GST. Okay, I'm supplying security guards to them. I collected 10,000 rupees on this. Who will pay GST? Mr. A or this society shall pay? Okay, very good, very good. Now who shall pay GST? Perfect. See, all the three conditions we will see. First, have I supplied security guard? Yes, satisfied. Condition 2, whether I'm other than body corporate? Yes, that is also satisfied. But recipient is unregistered in GST. Since the recipient is unregistered, society shall not pay GST under reverse charge. I shall collect GST from society and pay it to the government. I shall collect GST from the society and pay it to the government. Okay, so this is how you need to understand, and very good. Someone has said cooperative housing. No, 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 that is wrong answer, madam. Why cooperative? Only when the recipient, society, if it was registered, then only reverse charge was applicable. Else, it was not applicable. Else, not applicable. Okay, now let's move to next point. GTA service. Goods Transport Agency. Very big point. Few points we will cover of GTA. See this. Goods Transport Agency services. One of the very important topic. What do you mean by Goods Transport Agency? Suppose I'm company PQR. Okay, I got an order of product X. I am placing an order on Mr. A. I am PQR, you are Mr. A. I am placing an order of product X on you, that you people have to sell me product X. You people have to sell me product X. Now you don't have truck. You don't have truck, Mr. A. So what you do? You hire a GTA, Goods Transport Agency. You hire what? A GTA, Goods Transport Agency, to transport goods to me. Okay, so now you add a GTA and now you will transport, that GTA will transport the goods to me. So GTA came to your godown, loaded the goods in his truck and delivered the goods to me. The goods came to me. Okay, I got my goods. Now, who is a supplier of service? GTA. Who is a recipient of service? You. You are the recipient. You got the transportation service. Okay, so GTA raised an invoice on you of say 5,000. GTA raised an invoice on you on 5,000. GTA is a supplier. You are the receiver. On that, GTA raised an invoice of you of 5,000. You paid 5,000 to it. Immediately government came. See what government is saying. That GTA are unorganized sector. Obviously, they are unorganized sector. They don't maintain proper record, invoices, supporting, nothing they maintain. Nothing they maintain. Also, they hardly earn 2 to 5 lakh. Their turnover is below 20 lakh. Okay, so government is not able to earn GST for GTA service. Hence, government has introduced reverse charge mechanism, that whatever services a GTA provides to the recipient shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism at the rate of 5%. At the rate of 5%. So I am a GTA. I am providing transportation service to all of you. You people shall pay GST under reverse charge. Rate 5%. Rate 5%. Clear? If I am a supplier is who? GT. Recipient is who? Any person. The recipient shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Clear? No 20 lakh, you will need to pay immediately, whatever your turnover is. Whatever your turnover is. Okay. Now there are few points in it. One new thing has come which is there in your exam, which I will explain in GTS. See this. See this. What is the point here? Shefali, that is very big point. So unfortunately, I cannot cover that point. Even unregistered company. See, unregistered. Suppose I am a GTA. Just for 1 minute. No slide is there. Just listen and focus. Suppose I am a GTA. You people are unregistered individual. I repeat, unregistered individual, not company. Unregistered individual. Whatever I earn from you is exempt in GST. वापस मैं बोलता हूँ. Suppose I am a GTA. You people are unregistered individual. Whatever GTA earns from you is exempt under GST. Okay, please remember that. This is a new update, but there is no PPT for it, unfortunately. But suppose I am a GTA. You are an unregistered private limited company or unregistered partnership firm. Whatever I earn from you, boss, you need to take GST number and pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Okay, so exemption is what? When there is unregistered individual, then only it is exempt. Else it is not exempt. Even if GTA turnover is more than 20 lakh, this slide will explain it everything. Then I will answer your questions. This slide, please listen, and then I will answer your question. Even if GTA turnover is about 20 lakh, it's not required to register. The recipient shall pay under reverse charge. Okay, the recipient shall pay GST under reverse. But there is one option which I will like to take. See this first. Now what happened? See, GTA purchased new truck. This GTA, suppose I'm a GTA, I purchased new truck for the transportation of goods for rupee 1.12 crore. For rupee 1.12 crore. Okay, 1 crore plus 12 lakh GST. See this. I brought a brand new truck of 1.12 crore. Okay, I paid 1 crore rupees and I paid GST of 12 lakh rupees. Now, government is restricting me that Mr. GTA, I'm whatever service I give, I'm not collecting GST. Am I right? The recipients are paying. I'm not paying. The recipients are paying. So government is saying what? That Mr. GTA, you are not collecting GST on transportation. For you, for a GTA, the transport service are exempt. Why? Because the recipients are paying tax. GTA is not paying tax. GTA is not collecting tax. For GTA, the transportation service are exempt. For GTA. Okay, so what government is saying that Mr. GTA, on outward supply, जो भी आप service दे रहे हो, you are not collecting GST. Then why I should allow you input tax credit? That's why GTA was not getting input tax credit. Whatever GST GTA was paying, it was not allowed ITC. It was not allowed input tax credit. You got this point? Okay, that's why GTA got scared that what nonsense? What is this point? I agree. GTA said, I agree that whatever amount we are earning, we are not collecting GST and we are not paying GST. Recipients are paying. I agree it is exempt, but we have purchased truck, we purchase tires, we take audit consultancy service, we pay so much GST. If you do not give me input tax credit, we will be history. Our costing will increase. That's why government came with one optional scheme, not compulsory, optional for GTA. See the scheme that GTA, if you want input tax credit, then I introduce optional scheme of 12%. Then I introduce optional scheme of 12%. See the point. Forward charge. What it says that GTA, whatever services you give to any person, company, individual, any person, whatever services you give, you need to collect GST under forward charge and you need to pay GST under forward charge and the rate is 12%. Rate is 12%. If GTA collects 12%, pay 12%, then it can avail all the ITC. Then it can avail all the input tax credit. So many big GTAs are applying this 12% scheme. But the small GTAs, they will not apply this scheme because it is optional. because it is optional. Understood the scheme GTA? So this is there in your exam also. This change has already happened in 2017. So obviously it is there in your exam. Maybe there in your books also. Clear? So these are the two options. Option 1, GTA. Whatever service it will give to you, you will pay GST. What is the rate? 5% reverse charge. Option 2, GTA will collect GST and pay. What is the rate? 12% forward charge. These are the two options available for GTA. Okay, now comes next point. GTA point is over. Now comes one good point. Reverse charge for the supply of service by a music composer, photographer, artist against sale of copyright. Against the sale of copyright. Understood? See this. You didn't understand? See this. Anand Bakshi. You must have heard, maybe not. He was a lyricist and a music composer. He was a lyricist and a music composer. He had written one song, this, Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, in 19th century. It was huge hit, very big hit. Everyone was listening to only this song. Everyone was listening to this song. Okay, now some Karan Johar was big fan of. Karan Johar was big fan of this song. So he want to use the same song in the movie Student of the Year 2. He wants to use the same song in the movie Student of the Year 2. So he approached Anand Bakshi to sell the rights for the song. He approached Anand Bakshi ji to sell the rights. ऐसे थोड़ी he can remix it. He need the permission. So what Anand Bakshi sold the rights of the song that Mr. Karan, you can use this song. So who is the supplier? Anand Bakshi. Who is the receiver? Karan Johar. Correct. What are the services given? Rights. Rights given by Bakshi sir to Karan Johar. Okay, so but obviously demanded consideration of 2 crores. This is not reality, just an example. He demanded consideration of 2 crores for this services. Okay, so what government has said, the recipient who paid the 2 crore rupees, the recipient who paid 2 crore rupees, that recipient shall be liable to pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. So here, Mr. Karan, who is a receiver, he will pay GST at the rate of 18% under reverse charge mechanism. Clear? This is how you need to remember. Okay, ये examples याद रहेंगे ताकि exam में भी याद रहे. Someone is asking rate of. I'm not sure. Whosoever has asked, I'm not sure. I think the rate is 18, but let me get back to you. I'm not sure for it. Okay, so who was the supplier in this case? Anand Bakshi. Who was the recipient? Karan Johar. Right, so Karan Johar shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Okay, okay, so music composer, photographer, and artist. They are the supplier. They are the supplier. Who is the recipient? Maybe director, producer, or a music company. Whatever the rights they are sold, the recipient, the company, the producer, the director shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Clear this point? So this all points are very, very important. Now comes a new point which came from October 2019. October 2019. Reverse charge on the long-term lease of land. Reverse charge on the long-term lease of land. See this. Suppose I'm Maharashtra government. Long-term lease में क्या लिखा है? 30 years or more. Suppose I'm Maharashtra government. I appoint Kanakya builder for the development of residential and commercial project at Navi Mumbai. Okay, मैं government हूँ ना? So I appointed Kanakya builder for the development of residential project as well as commercial project at Navi Mumbai. At Navi Mumbai. Really. Now government had huge land which gave it on lease to them that you construct the residential building, construct shopping mall, construct park, and you only sell. And you only sell all these buildings and all. So it gave this land to them on lease. On lease, 30 years or more. Okay, so builder can only sell a non-profit. Big opportunity. So Kanakya started the construction. Itna bada opportunity, who will leave? Kanakya. Now government has given on lease. So Kanakya will have to pay something? Obviously, yes. So Kanakya has grabbed the opportunity. Kanakya, for the lease of land, for this lease of land, Kanakya had to pay upfront premium of rupees 10 crore. Means one-time premium. Upfront premium of rupees 10 crores it paid to the Maharashtra government. Okay. And it also paid 1 lakh every month. Every month till 35 years, 1 lakh rupee per month it paid. So who is the supplier in this case? Maharashtra government. What I am supply I am giving to you? Lease of land. Who is the recipient? Kanakya builder. Who shall pay GST? Whatever amount Kanakya builder is paying to the government, on that, Kanakya builder shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Okay, so this is long-term lease. Whatever I have land, I'm giving you on lease. You shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. You shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Clear? This is what? Lease of land. This is what? Lease of land. So suppose I have lease, any person has land, big land, I give it on you on lease, you are a builder or promoter. Whatever amount you pay to me, चाहे वो upfront premium हो, चाहे वो one time premium हो, or it's a regular payment, you people shall pay GST under reverse charge mechanism. Clear? Okay, so this is how you need to understand long-term lease. When did it come? April 2019. Really sorry. This has come from April 2019. Earlier, this was not there. But in exam, this is there. Okay, long-term lease of land. Clear? And this point, 9 subsection 5. I challenge you, when you learn this point, you will learn something new. एक जो daily चीज है, daily चीज, you use it. Now you will realize how it works. Has almost everyone traveled by Ola and Uber? Have you ever seen the invoice? Have you ever seen the invoice after traveling? I doubt. If now, after explaining this point, you people, if you have traveled, you will check the invoice. See this. Example 1. Example 1. 9 subsection 5. Tax payable by e-commerce operator. 8 marks short note had come. 8 marks. Tax payable by e-commerce operator on notified service. See this. Suppose I'm Mr. P. I want to travel from Vilepale to Churchgate. In my Mumbai only it is there. So I book an Ola and Uber for travel. I want to travel from Vilepale to Churchgate. So I book Ola Uber and I just travel. I travel through Ola Uber. Now, Ola sends its driver to provide rent-a-cab services. Now, Ola will not come. Ola will send the driver to provide rent-a-cab to me. So driver came, he picked me up and we traveled. And we traveled within Mumbai. For that, I paid the amount of rupees 500 plus GST on rupees 500 to Ola Uber. 100 for convenience fee, 400 for transportation fees. So I paid rupees 500 to Ola and I paid GST on rupees 500 to Ola. And then out of that 500, Ola pays 400 rupees to the driver. This is how it used to work earlier. This is how it used to work. Okay, this had happened. Now, how many invoices I had received? 2 invoices. First, I have received 2 services, not 2 invoices. Invoices only. First, I have received convenience fee. Ghar baithe baithe I have booked the app. A taxi came in my building. And second, I have received transportation services. For that, Ola raised an invoice of 500 plus GST. This is how it was working. Now, Ola made a plan, legal plan. This had not happened in reality, just for an example. Ola made an excellent plan to save GST liability. See what happened. See what happened in this case. I wanted to travel. Yes. Ola gave a cab to me, rent a cab. Ola booked the driver and Ola sent the driver. Now the driver provided me rent a cab service. This is the same. But when you see the invoice, there is change in the invoice. The invoice have changed. Why? This time, Mr. P has received 2 invoices. First invoice in the name of Ola Uber, 100 plus GST as convenience fee, same. But the second invoice is in the name of the driver, 400 rupees, and driver is not earning 20 lakh. So on that 400, there is no GST. You saw the point? Ola divided the invoice. Earlier on entire 500 Ola was charging. Now it has divided the invoice. First invoice 100 plus GST on convenience. And second invoice is in the name of the driver, 400. And driver income is below 20 lakhs. So no question of GST. So this time what happened? Earlier Ola Uber was collecting GST on 500. Now Ola Uber is collecting only on 100. Balance 400 is in the name of driver. Driver is below 20 lakh. So driver is not charging GST on 400. If you want to see the invoice, see the invoice. See this. This is invoice of Ola Uber. Okay. You can see the convenience fee, 42 rupees. Plus GST is there. Okay. You can see the Ola name, ANI technology. But there are always two invoice when you travel by Ola Uber. Always two invoice. See the second invoice. It is name of the driver. There is no name of Ola Uber. There is not even logo of Ola Uber. It is in the name of driver. 167. Okay, so this was a smart technique which could have been used. They have not used that. There is no cheating. Ola has not done anything wrong. Okay, so they have done yet legal method. Now government got confused. Yaar, earlier we used to earn revenue on 500. Earlier we used to earn GST on 500 rupees. Now we will be earning only on 100 rupees. What is this? So government talked to Ola that very smartly. Very, very nice move, sir. But we are introducing 9 subsection 5 of the CGST Act 2017. 9 subsection 5. Even though transportation is provided by driver, even though invoice is in the name of driver, still Ola Uber shall be required to collect and pay GST at the rate of 5%. Okay, it will be deemed that entire first service are provided by Ola and then it has paid money to the driver. It will be deemed as that. Samjha aapko? This is how the point is. That's why if you see this invoice. See that invoice is in the name of driver. On ride fee there is 168 rupees, but there is 2.5 CGST, 2.5 SGST, which Ola will collect and pay to the government. Okay, so even though invoice is in the name of driver, even though the service are provided by the driver, still poor e-commerce operator, Ola and Uber, they are required to charge GST, collect GST and pay GST to the government. Okay, this is 9 subsection 5. This is the main thing I wanted to tell you. This is how it functions. This is how it functions. Clear? Okay. I hope you have understood reverse charge mechanism in GST. 9 subsection 3 and 9 subsection 5. So we have covered input tax credit. We have covered reverse charge mechanism, major services. No, on Amazon, Flipkart, there is no this point. वहां तो एक दूसरा ही point. I will explain that. In TCS, this will come. I will explain that. Amazon, Flipkart, Swiggy, it is a separate. Only in 3 cases this point is there. Ola Uber, Urban Clap, Ola Uber, Urban Clap. And third one is that Go Ibibo and Make My Trip. Only in these 3 points, this 9 subsection 5 is there. Else not. Else not. Not for all e-commerce operator, only for this. Ola Uber. Second is housekeeping means Urban Clap. And third is stay services means Make My Trip and Go Ibibo. Only for this 3, this 9 subsection 5 is there. Understood? Now everyone, I'm giving you 5 to 10 minutes break. And then we will begin a new point. Which one? TDS under GST law, TCS under GST law, and that e-way bill under GST law. And if time permits, I will teach you some portion of import and export in GST. So entire GST will be covered today only. Tomorrow it will be assessment, anti-profit, and big points, other points. Clear? Chalo. I'm giving you 5 to 10 minutes break. Please, if possible, come in 7-8 minutes. It will be big help. Big help. Yes. Chalo. Yeah, there are few queries written here about ITC reversal as per Rule 43. See, Rule 43 is very big. Right now, I won't be able to explain because it itself is one-to-one and half our topic. So I will try to share a video with you later stage पे. अभी तो नहीं कर पाऊंगा because if I cover that, other topics will be pending. So Rule 43 today or tomorrow, it won't be possible for me to teach, but I will share some link or video with you at the later stage. Don't worry, I will cover it. Okay. The second, someone has asked about e-commerce operator and section 24. What is section 24? That is for the compulsory registrations. Section 24 means what? Compulsory registration. Means suppose I am Ola, Uber, or suppose I am this Make My Trip, Go Ibibo. Through my portal, these people are supplying service. Then I am compulsory required to get registered. So suppose I am Ola, you people are say driver. You people are using Ola to get the cabs and all booking. Ola will have to get compulsory registered in GST. So whoever the e-commerce operator are there, they are required to get compulsory registered in GST. Only that is the point. But normally they will obviously be registered. Their turnover is way below 20 lakh, way above 20 lakh. So obviously they will be registered in GST. Okay, so that is not a very big point. Okay, chalo. Now let's move to next point. See, TDS under GST law. One of the important point, TDS under GST law. You must have heard, must be aware or must have heard about TDS under income tax. But in GST also, from 1st October 2018, TDS concept was introduced. From 1st October 2018, TDS under GST law was introduced. See what this point says. I will just give you demo, not in-depth study, but all the demos I will give to you. Suppose I'm a supplier. I'm a supplier. Okay. I'm any person. I could be individual, company, firm, etc. You people are recipient. And when I say recipient, it means what you know. Either you are department or establishment of central government, means you are central government, state government, or you are local authority, or you are government agency, or you are public sector undertaking. Means State Bank, Bank of Baroda, Bank of India, all public sector bank, who is controlled by government. Next, you are an establishment where 51% holding is by government. In short, control is by government. Or any notified person which will be notified in future by the government. Okay, so who is a supplier? Any person. Who are the recipient? In short, government or PSU. Correct. There is a contract between us. There is a contract between us, say rupees 10 lakh. Example, rupees 10 lakh. Contract is of goods. Contract could be of services, or contract could be goods and services, both. Now, I have contract with government. Now, government, before paying amount to me, before paying amount to me on this 10 lakh, first it will deduct 2% and pay it to the GST department, in short, government. So the 7%, whatever contract I have with them, they shall first deduct my 2% TDS and pay it to the government or GST department. Out of 10 lakh, 2%, 20,000 is deducted. I will get balance 9 lakh 80,000 from the receiver. Okay, this is how it functions. This is a one example I will like to give. See this. Suppose I am a supplier. I'm a private limited company. Recipient is State Bank of India. So I am supplying services to the State Bank of India. Contract. Contract is what? Of rupees 12 lakh. Contract could be any contract. I am giving rental service. I am giving housekeeping service. Say I am giving AMC service, annual maintenance contract. Such kind of services I am giving to State Bank of India. Okay, so I am a supplier. State Bank is the receiver. Now see, State Bank, before making me 12 lakh payment, State Bank will deduct 2% of TDS. See this, and it pay it to the government. Okay, and balance 11 lakh 76,000 it will pay to the supplier. Clear? This is a GST TDS other than income tax TDS. Income tax are separate provisions. So this is how the GST TDS works. Okay, when the contract is between me and this 7%, government or a PSU, major. Clear? They will deduct my 2% TDS. What is the rate? 2% and pay it to the government. Understood? Understood. There is limit. And each amount they will not deduct. When the contract value, I repeat, when the contract between me and government, when the contract between me and PSU is about 2,50,000, then only TDS is applicable. When the contract between me and government is about 2,50,000, then only TDS is applicable, else not applicable. Else not applicable. Okay, so this was our TDS in GST law. Clear? Now let's move to next point, TCS under GST law. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. I yesterday explained to you some provision. Now I require your utmost attention here. Pura attention aapka chahiye. Because in 3 slides, we will cover entire TCS topic. Entire TCS topic we are going to cover in this. TCS. Okay, how the transaction in e-commerce works. How the transaction in e-commerce works. See this. Suppose I am a customer. Who am I? A customer. We all use Amazon, Flipkart. जो चालू हो जाते हैं हम लोग use करना. Okay, so suppose I book order on Amazon. I am booking order on Amazon. See this. Now, do you think Amazon is selling to you? Do you really think Amazon is going to sell to you? No. There are the shopkeepers who are registered on Amazon as e-commerce vendor. There are shopkeepers who are registered on Amazon as whom? E-commerce vendors. Yeah, they are registered as e-commerce vendor. Fair enough? Now, Amazon will pass the order to that vendor. So, e-commerce vendor shall sell goods to me. मुझे goods कौन sell करता है? That was e-commerce vendor. Okay, so e-commerce vendors shall sell goods to me. E-commerce vendor shall raise invoice on me. See this. Vendor shall sell goods to me. You think many people say I bought from Amazon. You never buy from Amazon. Amazon is just an agent. It takes order from you, pass order to the seller. Takes order from you, pass order to the seller. That seller is selling mobile to you. The name, the tax invoice is also in the name of the seller. Also in the name of the seller. Correct? So now tax invoice is in the name of the seller. But Amazon is not doing favor. Amazon, for this, will raise an invoice of commission. Amazon will raise an invoice of commission on that e-commerce vendor. Please understand. Amazon will raise an invoice of 11,800 on this e-commerce vendor. Fair. On this e-commerce vendor, Amazon has raised an invoice. Now, how this works? How this works? See, that seller has raised invoice on me. Amazon has raised invoice on seller. Commission. Now, I need to make the payment for mobile. Correct. On that mobile, I will make the payment first to Amazon. See, money you pay to the Amazon. Mobile भले आपको कोई और बेच रहा, money you are paying to Amazon. Out of 1,18,000 which I paid to Amazon, Amazon will deduct its commission of 11,800. Amazon will deduct its commission of 11,800 and balance 1,06,000 it will pay to the seller. This is how e-commerce functions. This is how e-commerce functions. Okay, now see how government earns. Now, Amazon has collected 1,800 rupees GST from that vendor on commission. This it will pay to the government. See this, 1,800 rupees GST it paid to the government. Government received this 18. Vendor collected 18,000 GST from me on invoice, and he whatever 1,800 he paid to Amazon, it is allowed as input tax credit. So vendor will pay only 16,200 to the government. Government received in short rupees 18,000. You got it? Amazon collected 1,800 from vendor as commission. That it paid. That it paid. See this. See this again. Amazon had collected 1,800 on commission. That it paid to the government. So government earned 1,800. And this vendor, he had raised invoice of 1 lakh plus 18,000 on me. So he has collected 18,000 GST from me. But he had paid commission pay GST 1,800 to Amazon, which is allowed as input tax credit. So 18,000 minus 1,800. This vendor shall pay 16,200 to government. So government earned total 18,000 from this entire transaction. Clear? This is how the function of e-commerce works. Okay, so why TCS? What is the need for TCS? What is the purpose of TCS? I will explain. I will explain. See this. My query to you, are e-commerce vendors, see, e-commerce vendors, जो seller होते हैं, shopkeeper, are they compulsory required to get registered or not? What is your opinion? Are these e-commerce vendors compulsory required to get registered or not? Compulsory? Very good. Yes, correct. They are compulsory. For goods, e-commerce operator, e-commerce vendor for goods are compulsory required to get registered. But see what was happening. What was going on in market, that what I want to explain. See, now उनको बोला गया था vendors को compulsory करना, but they were not getting registered. They were not getting registered. So what was happening in real life? Suppose I wanted to book order on Amazon. I booked on mobile. This Amazon will pass the order to vendor. This vendor, they were compulsory required, but they were not getting registered. They did not want GST. So they were not getting registered in GST. Even though compulsory, still not getting registered. Now what happened in this case? Now they are going to sell that mobile for only 1 lakh without GST too. Mobile they sold, but they raised an invoice of only 1 lakh, no GST. They were required to say compulsory, but no, it is allowed. It is allowed on Amazon. You can, even if you don't have GST, you can register. There is a way. There is a way. It is not that that Amazon will not allow. Amazon does allow. Okay, so now this is what to happen, that e-commerce vendor, they raised an invoice on me of rupees 1 lakh only 1 lakh. So what happened in this case? Now, but Amazon was it raised an invoice of 10,000 plus GST on vendor for his commission. Yeah, Amazon to GST लगाएगा because Amazon is going to charge GST on his commission income. So Amazon charge GST. Okay, now comes the point. I, as a customer, will pay how much? Only 1 lakh. I paid only 1 lakh rupees to Amazon, no GST, because there was no GST charge. Out of 1 lakh, Amazon deducted its commission of 11,800 and balance it paid to the vendor 88,200. No GST, no GST. Okay, then what happened? Whatever GST Amazon had collected, that it paid to the government 1,800 rupees. Government received that 1,800 rupees. It received that. But since the vendor is unregistered, e-commerce vendor shall not pay any GST to the government. So earlier e-commerce vendor was paying the 16,200. This time it did not pay a penny. So government earned only 1,800 rupees. So government was earning 18,000 rupees. But because of such vendors, government received only 1,800 rupees. Now how to catch them? How to catch such people? Okay, so government had a high level discussion that we brought e-waybill, we brought TDS. Now for this e-commerce vendors, what should we do? What should we bring for such e-commerce vendors? So the Sir planned that let's introduce the concept of TCS. Let's introduce the concept of tax collected at source. See how it will help you out. So now what happened? Again, the same example. I'm a customer. I wanted to book mobile on Amazon. Amazon directed this due to the vendor unregistered in GST, does not have GST number. Vendor sold mobile to me for 1 lakh. Only 1 lakh, no GST. Correct. Now Amazon for that charged a commission invoice of 11,800. That will remain fixed. 10,000 plus GST. Now, as a customer, I paid 1 lakh rupees. Now, from what happened from 1st October 18, Amazon will deduct its 11,800 commission. That will remain same. Plus, on this 1 lakh rupee, I repeat, on this transaction of 1 lakh rupee, Amazon will also deduct TCS of that vendor 1%. 1% TCS. 1 lakh पे 1%. 1000 rupees. And balance 87,200 it will give to the vendor. Balance 87,200 it will give to the vendor. So now Amazon, what it did, out of what 1 lakh I had paid, it will deduct this commission. 11,800. That is same. Plus Amazon will deduct 1% TCS on 1 lakh, 1000 rupees. And only balance 87,200 it gave to the vendor. Now, vendor, if you want that 1%, you want that 1% refund, if you have GST number, then only you are going to get this refund of 1,000. Whatever TCS is deducted, when you will get the refund? When you have GST number, else forget it. Else forget it. So what will happen in this case? Whatever GST Amazon had collected on commission, 1,800, that it will pay to the government. Government received that. Plus whatever TCS 1,000 rupees it had deducted, that also it will pay to the government. Okay, and this vendor, if he is unregistered, this 1,000 rupees is gone. You want refund? You are required to get registered in GST. Then only you people are going to get refund of this 1,000. Else forget it. And Amazon has deducted TCS. So indirectly all the e-commerce vendor for goods, I repeat, all the e-commerce vendor for goods are now compulsory getting registered in GST. Understood? TDS and TCS, why it was introduced, what are the benefits? You know the rate of TCS, what is the difference? Rate of TDS is what? 2%. Rate of TCS is what? 1%. Okay, rate of TDS is 2%. Rate of TCS is 1%. Only that is the major difference. Okay, when TDS is applicable, when I have contract with government or a PSU and the value is about 2,50,000, then only TDS is applicable. For TCS, when I am registered on Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, or Swiggy, all those websites, all those e-commerce operator, then they will deduct my 1% TCS. Clear? So these are all the ways where vendor will get registered in GST. Vendor will get registered in GST. Okay? Clear? So this is excellent point. Now let's move to next point, e-waybill under GST law. Very good point. Very good. E-waybill under GST law. Excellent concept. See this. Why the e-waybill was introduced? If can anyone reply me on chat? What is the purpose for the introduction of e-waybill in GST? Can anyone reply on chat? What is the purpose? What is the benefit for introduction of e-waybill in GST? Detect movement of goods. Okay, very good. Somewhere it is right. Perfect. Perfect. Very good, sir. Track the movement. Correct. Leakages in GST. Track the movement is good. Perfect. See, now I will explain you. Correct. Correct. Very good, everyone. That means you have good knowledge. Now I will explain you through examples. Please try to understand each and every example. Okay, see this. Now this guy, say he's Mr. Z or Mr. whatever. What he is doing? He's selling goods. He is Mr. A. Okay, he is selling goods to some Mr. A for rupees 50 lakh plus 12% GST. Okay, selling goods for rupees 50 lakh. See this, plus 12% GST. He raised an invoice. He charged GST, collected GST at the rate of 12%. At the rate of 12% on 50 lakh. Okay, raised the invoice also. Perfect. Okay, so then he raised invoice on Mr. B, 80 lakh rupees. He supplied goods of 80 lakh rupees on Mr. B. He raised the tax invoice also of 80 lakh plus GST on Mr. B. Everything is good. But then he supplied goods to Mr. C, 60 lakh rupees. Now they manipulated. They supplied goods, but he did not raise an invoice. They supplied goods, but they did not raise the tax invoice. So this 60 lakh was black money. This 60 lakh was what? Black money. So if you see on this 60 lakh, since there is no invoice, there is no GST also. Government did not earn GST on this 60 lakh. So technically, how much goods he has sold? He has sold of 190 lakh, 50 plus 80 plus 60. He should charge GST on 190 lakh, but he prepared invoice and charged GST only on 130 lakh. So on balance 60 lakh rupees, government has not received GST. On balance 60 lakh rupees, government has not earned GST. So such cheating were happening. Such cheating are happening and will happen, but some people will control it. So there was a high level meeting. There was a high level meeting. Government discussed that our GST target was 1.2 lakh crore every month. Monthly target. Really, this is the target. But we are able to earn only 80,000 crores every month. We are facing the shortage. Why there is shortfall? Why there is shortfall of GST revenue every month? What is the reason? Government says how to find out such supply. How to find out such supply or evading taxes. So, Mr. Jaitley suggested, let's introduce the concept of e-way bill under GST law. Let's introduce the concept of e-way bill under GST. What is the benefit, See this. Every supplier causing the movement of goods where consignment value, I repeat, where consignment value is greater than rupees 50,000 shall be required to generate an e-way bill. Okay, see what they have written? Every supplier causing the movement of good, जहाँ पे consignment value of the good is greater than 50,000, they shall be required to generate an e-way bill. And ये सारी e-way bill details, it will be auto-populated with the government. All the e-way bill details shall be auto-populated with the government. Okay, see this. If e-way bill is not available, the officer क्या करेगा? He shall detain the vehicle. He shall seize the goods. He shall introduce penalty of 100% of GST. If you are moving the goods without e-way bill, I will detain your vehicle. I will seize the goods and I will introduce penalty of 100% of the GST amount. I repeat, 100% of the GST amount. Okay. Hence now all the suppliers are scared. All the people are started. They all started making e-way bill. All the suppliers got so scared that your vehicle detain ho jayega. Huh? So now they started making e-way bill. And whosoever started making e-way bill, entire data got auto-populated with government. Now through e-way bill, government can catch all the suppliers who are moving the goods, selling the goods, but not preparing tax invoice. Through e-way bill, ये सारे लोग पकड़े जाएंगे. All such fools will be caught. All such fools will be caught. Okay? So if you do not have any e-way bill, you are moving, officer will take your vehicle. If you have any e-way bill, details will be auto-populated with government. You will be caught. So in any way, through e-way bill, you will be caught if you are doing fraud. Okay, when the consignment value is greater than 50. When I say consignment, it means invoice value. It means invoice value. Consignment matlab pura invoice ka value, including GST. Including GST. Okay, so chalo, let us understand this point. Now what will happen in this case? Mr. A is registered under GST. He supplied goods of 2 crores during 1920. However, he raised tax invoice of only 1.7 crore. Balance were given without invoice. Balance were given without any document or supporting. No document or supporting. Okay. Hence, he charged, collected, and paid GST only on 1.7 crore. How much he has moved? 2 crores. How much he has sold? 2 crore. But he prepared invoice of only 1.7 crore. So government did not receive GST on 30 lakh. Okay, but to avoid penalty, to avoid that detention of vehicle, he had prepared the e-way bill of 2 crores. He had prepared the e-way bill of rupees 2 crores. Okay, to avoid this penalty, he had prepared the e-way bill of rupees 2 crores. Now see, government came immediately that Mr. A, what is this? You have prepared e-way bill of 2 crore, but sales invoice only 1.7 crore. How is that possible? आपने सिर्फ 1.7 crore पे GST भरा. Who will pay on that? So now through e-way bill, this Mr. A got caught. This Mr. A got caught. He now have to submit e-way bill. And since he will now have to submit GST on this 30 lakh rupees. He shall be required to pay GST on this 30 lakh rupees. Clear? So this e-way bill is a Bible, Gita for this all of them. Okay, इनके लिए तो यार blessing हो गया. सबको now they can catch it. Okay, now this is see e-way bill how it looks. This is part A of e-way bill. This is part A of e-way bill. Okay. Someone has written excluding exempt supply. It is not excluding exempt supply. There are few things where e-way bill is not required, which I will cover in subsequent slide. Rest for everything e-way bill is required. Okay, see this. Now this is part A of e-way bill. This is part A of e-way bill. See this. Who has prepared the bill? Bill 2. किसके नाम पे on whom you are making the invoice? What are the products? Chemical, cement, bricks. What you are selling? That you need to write. What are the quantity? What is the unit, net amount, tax amount, CG, SG, IG? In short, you are drafting your entire invoice. In short, you are drafting what? Your entire invoice. You are preparing in part A, entire invoice. Remember one point. Against one invoice, only one e-way bill can be generated. Against same invoice, you cannot generate two e-way bills. Against one invoice, you can generate only one e-way bill. And this part A, once made, it cannot be modified, not be amended. You can't do anything. Okay, this is one point you need to remember. This is one point you need to remember. Okay, so against one invoice, how many e-way bill? Only one. Part A, once made, can you amend? No, boss, it is freeze. You cannot do anything. Okay, but the e-way bill is in two parts. This is part B of e-way bill. This is the part B. How you are moving the goods by road, by rail, by air, okay, by ship. So this is by, are you moving goods by road? Then give that details. Give the vehicle number. If you are moving by rail, then give the railway receipt number. Railway receipt number. If you're moving by aircraft, then give you airway bill or air receipt number. If you're moving by vessel, then you get bill of lading. Give that number. You need to write all that. How your goods are moving. Okay, and here you can see regular or over-dimensional cargo. What do you mean by over-dimensional? This is known as over-dimensional cargo. Okay, means heavy goods, heavy vehicle. When you are moving heavy goods, heavy vehicle through over-dimensional cargo, you need to mention that. You need to mention that. Okay, so this is part A and part B of e-way bill. Part B of e-way bill, you can modify, you can amend, you can update infinite time. Infinite time, not one, two, yeah, you can amend n number of times. Okay, part A, you cannot amend at all. Part B, you can amend infinite times. Did you remember this? Part A, how many times? No amendment. But part B, this vehicle details, you can amend infinite times. Clear? Chalo. Now this is the e-way bill which I want to show you on website. This is the website of e-way bill. I open that. How to prepare an e-way bill. Click on generate new. Write the invoice number. You can see document number. Write that document number. Say 1234. Okay. Seller's name will be always there. Bill from. Bill from detail will be auto populated. Now on whom you are selling, to whom you are transferring the good, you have to write in bill to. Okay, to whoever you are transferring or selling the good, you have to write in whom bill to. So once you write that bill to, see, I wrote the GST number, all the details will come automatically. Clear? Now you give goods ka details. Now you give details which goods are being transported. Which goods are being transported, those details you need to give. So suppose I am transferring some chemical product, this one. So that is there. HSN code you need to give. Quantity, say 100 kgs are going. Taxable value. Taxable value, 1 lakh rupees. Okay, then whatever rates, 9%, 18%, whatever is applicable, you have to write. It is within the state, hence CGST and SGST. If it is outside the state, then IGST. Clear? This is your part A. Now comes part B. How you are moving the goods. How you are moving the goods. That is coming. This part is coming now. Part B of e-way. Are you moving by road, by rail, by air, or by ship? Select any one. Select any one. Suppose I'm moving by road, I have to write vehicle number. By which truck? Okay, and that number I have to write. If I'm moving by rail, then railway receipt number, RR number, I have to write. Air, then airway bill I have to write. And ship, then bill of lading I have to write. Bill of lading I have to write. Okay? This is how you need to prepare e-way bill. And then submit. Part A, Part B, press submit, done. Part A, Part B, press submit, then done. Clear? This is how you need to prepare e-way bill here. Understood? Now few case studies are there, few exemptions are there. All I will like to cover here so that you people remember it. See, point number one, there are some exemptions in e-way bill which I told you. Yesterday also I showed you this. Suppose you are importing or you are exporting goods. You are importing or you are exporting goods. Okay, so see this. Whenever you import, there are this custom port. There are this custom port. Here the goods will come and you can see the trucks moving. All the trucks are moving here internally. Okay, see this. Trucks are going internally. These are custom trucks. See, you see the trucks, they're moving in the port only. Here only, in the port only. Now see, there are few exemptions in e-way bill which I will like to discuss. Suppose I'm registered person. I'm importing goods from UK. Please understand, very important from exam point of view. I'm importing goods from UK. I'm seeking clarity for e-way bill. Okay, first, my goods are coming from UK to India port. See this, that UK person delivered the goods at India port. Will that UK person prepare any e-way bill? Will that UK person log in and prepare e-way bill? Answer is, see this, the goods came from UK to India. Answer is what? E-way bill is not required. Whenever you import the goods, जब भी वो exporter goods India send करता है, e-way bill is not required till that time. Then suppose I am moving the goods from the port to inland container depot or container freight station. It is within that port, nearby that. Okay, so what happened? I move the goods in inland container depot or I move the goods in container freight station. Container freight station. Here I move the goods. Okay, now it is within the custom department. This is custom department truck. They have moved the goods. Will I come to know which vehicle they are using? Okay, so for that, whenever there is a movement from port to ICD, whenever there is a movement from custom port to ICD, e-way bill is exempt. Again, e-way bill is exempt because the custom people are using that truck. How will I come to know? Fair. Third point. Now, suppose I request the custom department that move the goods to custom bonded warehouse. Move the goods to custom bonded warehouse. So now, from the ICD or CFS, goods are moving from the ICD to custom bonded warehouse. Again, they have moved. They have moved in their own truck. You saw in the video the trucks. It is their truck. Now again, how will I come to know how they are moving, when they are moving, which truck they are using? So again, e-way bill is exempt. So when I moved from port to ICD, e-way bill is exempt. When I moved from ICD to the custom warehouse, e-way bill is exempt. E-way bill is exempt. Okay, but last part. Now when I collect the goods from the custom bonded warehouse, when I collect the goods in my own truck, from the warehouse to my office or to my godown. When I collect the goods, now as an importer, I am required to prepare an e-way bill from the custom bonded warehouse to my own godown or warehouse. Okay, so whenever you import, when the exporter send the goods, e-way bill is not required. When you move from port to ICD, e-way bill is exempt. When you move from ICD to the warehouse, e-way custom bonded warehouse, e-way bill is exempt. But when you take the goods from customs warehouse in your own truck, you are required to prepare an e-way bill. Okay, so this is how import works. This is how the entire import system works. Clear? Okay, so see this point. Now there are other transactions which also do not require any e-way bill. There are some specific transactions which do not need any e-way bill. See this, e-way bill is optional for few transactions. Suppose my value is below 50,000, my consignment value is below 50,000. Why will I prepare e-way bill? E-way bill is optional, not compulsory, but you can prepare. Second, if I'm moving the goods by a non-motorized conveyance, means I'm moving by bullock cart or I'm moving this way, इसको बोलते हैं non-motorized conveyance. Which number I will write of animal? Is it possible? No. So when I am moving by non-motorized conveyance, e-way bill is exempt. Third, just now I discussed, when you move the goods from port to ICD, e-way bill is exempt. When you move the goods from ICD to the custom bonded warehouse, e-way bill is exempt. That is the same point. Correct? Next, when you are moving the goods of the Ministry of Defense, should I prepare e-way bill? These are secrecy. I have to maintain secrecy here. I cannot disclose this. Missiles are going here. Terrorists will attack. So when you are preparing e-way, when you are preparing or moving the goods of the Ministry of Defense, e-way bill is not required. Next, when the government or the local authority is transporting goods by rail, when the government or the local authority is transporting goods by rail, if they are moving the goods, government, तो यार थोड़ी e-way bill होगा. E-way bill is exempt. But when they are moving by rail, correct. Next, transit cargo to or from Nepal and Bhutan. See, understand this point. Transit cargo to and from Nepal or Bhutan. Suppose this is a person of Nepal, this is a person of US. ठीक है, ये person कौन है नेपाल का? This is a person of US. They are both going to buy and sell. Okay, but Nepal doesn't have good ports. Custom port, they are not that good. So this US person send the goods to India, and then India sent the goods by road to Nepal. What happened? Transaction is between Nepal and US, but Nepal does not have port. So US people send to India, and then India by road send it to the Nepal. This is known as transit cargo. So for such transit cargo, e-way bill is exempt. E-way bill is exempt. And last, in manufacturing industry, there is a weigh bridge where your vehicle's weight is being checked. It should not be overweight, else it will tilt. So there are weigh bridge. Okay. So when from your factory, when you move from your factory to this weigh bridge for weighment, and the distance is up to 20 kilometers, e-way bill is exempt. Okay, when you move from your factory to that weigh bridge, and the distance is only up to 20 kilometers, e-way bill is exempt. Clear? Clear? So these are some pointers of e-way bill. These are some pointers of e-way bill. Understood? Okay, so this was our e-way bill. Now I will take you to GST returns. Some parts I will like to cover with you. GSTR 2A, 3 and all. I will take that for half an hour and then we will finish it up. See this. Just give me 1 minute. I'm pausing the sharing. 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Huh? Yeah. Chalo. Now let us understand few things about GSTR 2A. Okay, let us understand. Yeah, composition scheme. I remember I will teach you that. Today only I will teach you composition scheme, but after this point. That will not take much time. Okay, now first let me explain you few things about GST returns. Some interesting things are there regarding GST returns. Let us understand that. See this. First, I will teach you GSTR 2A and why it was introduced and everything. See, point number one. Suppose I am a supplier. Mr. Anil sir is a buyer. I am a supplier. Mr. Anil sir is a buyer. I sold goods of 1 lakh plus 5% GST to this receipt. I sold goods of 1 lakh plus 5% GST to this recipient. Okay. Now from this recipient, I will collect 1 lakh also. These are my money. And I will also collect GST of 5,000. This GST that I have collected, I will pay to the government. Okay. So what happens? Supplier collects GST and pay to the government. This is so you all know. But now understand the condition. See, the recipient paid GST to me and I paid GST to the government. See how it works. Recipient pays GST to me and I pay GST to the government. You know what is the section? A dangerous section in input tax credit as per section 16.2. See this recipient. Okay, if the recipient can avail input tax credit, you people, suppose a recipient, you people can avail input tax credit only when I pay GST to the government. Understood? If you are a buyer, you have paid GST to me, supplier. But unless I pay GST to the government, boss, you cannot avail ITC. You cannot avail input tax credit. Okay, so understand this. You people are buyer, you people paid GST to me. But unless I pay GST to the government, you people cannot avail input tax credit. This is the irony of GST. ये एक irony of GST. Now Mr. Anil sir is furious. What kind of law is this? How will I come to know whether this seller has paid GST to know? He has paid GST to me, but whether I am paying GST to government, how will he come to know? Huh? Is there a way? For that, government has prepared few. See the point. See the point. Government has said that supplier, every supplier who is registered in GST, every supplier who is registered in GST has to file 2 GST returns. Has to file 2 GST return. First, GSTR1. I sold goods now. I give services now. I will have to file GSTR1. And then I will have to file GSTR3. In GSTR1, I will give details invoice-wise. Invoice-wise details I will give. And through GSTR3B, I will pay the tax to the government. I will pay the tax to the government. This is how it functions. So every supplier has to file GSTR1 in which I will give each and every invoice detail and I will file GSTR3B through which I will pay GST to the government. Okay, so now see what happens if I am a supplier. I will file which return? GSTR1. Okay, in that I will give the invoice details that I have sold to Anil sir. Okay, and this through my GSTR. Through my GSTR1, the details of invoice shall be auto-populated in the buyer's recipients GSTR2A. वहां पे he can check whether supplier has paid GST or the supplier has not paid GST. And there he can check. I will give you that example also. Okay, so supplier will file GSTR1. Through my GSTR1, details will be auto-populated in your GSTR2A. Yeah, GSTR2A. One example I will like to show you. Suppose I am a supplier, my name is Suburban Solvent Center. Just the name. You are a buyer, your name is MK. Okay, I sold goods to you or I gave services to you. These are the invoice details. You can see the invoice details. Which return as a supplier I will file? GSTR1. When I file GSTR1, details will be auto-populated in recipient's MK's GSTR2A, which you can view. This is not a return or 2A. It is just for a facility to view and download. See this. Now I'm opening MK and MK's GSTR2A. You can see this on GST portal only for view. Now, once you click this B2B invoices, here you will get all the details of seller. See the Suburban, I have filed GSTR1. Through my one, it is auto-populated in his GSTR2A. Same details are there. 4811, 4811, 1920. entire invoice got auto-populated. Understood? So supplier file GSTR1, details get auto-populated in buyer's GSTR2A. Unless it is there in your 2A, don't take ITC. Don't take ITC. Okay, there is some rule 36 which I will explain. Some 10-20% is allowed. I will explain. Okay, so I will file GSTR1. You can see in your GSTR2A. So see this. GSTR2A, again in detail you see. Now suppose this is your GSTR2A. You can check every detail of the supplier. See this. Suppose you are a buyer, you have purchased from Joy Petrochem. Whether I have filed GSTR1, whether I have filed GSTR3B, all the details you can see now in your 2. This is a big update. You can see. Okay, this invoice are there. Whether the supplier have filed 1 and whether he has filed GSTR3B. Okay, there will be few suppliers who must have not filed GSTR3B. That means you cannot take input tax credit because he has not paid GST to the government. So unless supplier files GSTR1, unless supplier files GSTR3B, the recipient cannot avail input tax credit. Clear? Clear? So this is a facility given for every one of us which we can utilize. Okay, but there is one rule, Rule 36 sub rule 4, which is there in your exam. It is introduced from October 19. What this rule says, please understand. Rule 36 sub rule 4 with effect from October 2019. See this point. Suppose Mr. Anil sir was a buyer. He was a recipient. This is his GSTR 2A. He bought goods of rupees 1 lakh plus 12% GST. He bought goods of 1 lakh plus 12% GST. He filed GSTR1 correctly. He filed GSTR1 correctly. The supplier filed GSTR1 correctly, Mr. A. Through his GSTR1, details got auto-populated in buyer's 2. This he can see. So he can take this credit. Correct. Similarly, Mr. Anil sir availed services of rupees 3 lakh plus 18% from Mr. B. Mr. B also filed GSTR1 correctly. So this 54,000 also came in recipient's GSTR2. Very good. Very good. Okay. And now see. He availed service from Mr. C. 5 lakh plus 18% GST. Now this Mr. C did not file GSTR1. So this 90,000 never ever came in the recipient's GSTR2. It never came in recipient's GSTR2. So Anil sir cannot see in his GSTR2. Okay, but point D. Point number D. See this. He took services from Mr. D. 2 lakh plus 12%. Mr. D filed GSTR1, but instead of Mr. Anil sir, he wrote someone else's GST number. So this 24,000 also never came in recipient's 2. So what happened here? What was the actual input tax credit? What was the actual input tax credit in this case? Actual input tax credit was 1,80,000. 1,80,000. If you add everything, actual input tax credit was 1,80,000. But how much is there in H2A? Only 66,000. Only 66. Getting it? How much is actual ITC? 1,80,000. How much is there in H2A? Only 66,000. What will do? You know what is the rule? See this. From October 19, there in your exam, Rule 36 sub Rule 4 was introduced. It says, recipient, what was actual ITC? 1,80,000. What was as per 2A? 66,000. What this rule says? You know what this rule says? As per this, recipient can take only that much ITC which is available in 2A into 110%, means plus 10%. I repeat, how much ITC recipient can take? Which is available in his GSTR 2A plus 10%, or you can say into 110%. Okay, what is there in your 2A? 66,000. Ignore your purchase register. Whatever actual is there, you have to ignore. Whatever is there in your 2A, 66,000 into 110%, 72,600 only. So whatever actual 1,80,000, goli maro. Forget it. How much is there in your 2A? Into 110%. Only 72,600. Balance ITC you can take subsequently. when it will be available in your tool. Clear? So this rule is there. Now you understood there could be objectives on this also. Rule 36, sub rule 4. Remember this rule. Huh? Rule 36, sub rule 4. Okay. Whatever is there in your two-way, plus 10%. Plus 10%. Okay. Rule 36, sub rule 4. There is no logic. Someone is asking logic behind this rule. See, this is a magical rule. Everyone is opposing this rule. This is nonsense rule as per my opinion. This rule is not required. But government is troubling the taxpayers. That's the only logic behind. There is no logic behind this rule. Okay. So this was rule 36 sub rule 4. Yeah. Clear? Now I will take you to the journey of GST returns, which could be an objective question in your exam. See this. 1 second. See, GST returns. Now, this is the important part, very important part, GST returns. 1 second. Yeah, there is a penalty for it. You have the chapter of offense and penalty where I give you fraud invoice. There are many cases going on. If there are fraud invoice, if you are caught, you are subjected to 100% penalty. So don't worry. It is not mandatory to avail this 10% extra. It is optional. You can avail 10% extra in rule 36 sub rule 4. It is optional. Advisable, whatever you can see in your two-way, please avail that much only. Please avail that much only. Don't avail anything else. Don't avail anything else. As per now, this is my opinion. 1 second. Okay? Chalo. Now comes good points. Once see this. GST returns. Every seller has to file GSTR1, which I told you, and GSTR3B, which we discussed. But for the people who are registered under composition scheme, I will explain you that in subsequent slides. For the people who are registered under composition scheme dealer, they don't have to file GSTR1 or 3B because those people cannot collect GST. I will explain that right now. Just demo listen. They cannot avail ITC. They have to pay 1% from their pocket. For the composition dealer, there is a separate return known as CMP08, which is now okay, or there is known as GSTR4. Quarterly returns they have to file. How they have to file? Quarterly returns they have to file. GSTR4 or CMP08. What is the due date? 18th of the subsequent month from the end of the quarter. 18th of the subsequent month from the end of the quarter. An objective question. So suppose quarter is July, August, September. When you need to file? 18th October. October, November, December. When you need to file? 18th of Jan. Clear? This is for composition scheme deal. Next, NRIs. They are required to compulsory take registration. Okay, also they will not get input tax credit. Minimum 1 day they will get. Maximum 90 days registration they will get. For NRI, there is a separate return GSTR5. Which is the return? GSTR5. Due date is 20th of the subsequent. Due date is 20th of the subsequent month. Clear? Remember? Good. Next is input services distributor. This is one point which I will explain at a later stage today only or maybe tomorrow. They have to file a return GSTR6 monthly. What is the due date? Again, objective question. 13th of the subsequent month. All the returns could be asked in exam. GSTR6, 13th of the subsequent month. Then I told you just now, TDS deductor, government, PSU, they will deduct your 2% TDS. They will file which return? They will file which return? GSTR7. If I have deducted your TDS, I am government, I have deducted your TDS, I will file GSTR7. Due date is 10th of the subsequent. Due date is 10th of the subsequent month. Next is GST, I am say e-commerce operator, Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, Snapdeal, etc. And you are e-commerce vendor. Who are you? E-commerce vendor. I will deduct your what? TCS, 1%. I, e-commerce operator, will file GSTR8. What is the due date? Again, 10th of the subsequent month. 10th of the subsequent month. Clear? And then when I cancel my registration, yesterday I taught you cancellation of GST registration, your turnover below 20 lakh and all, Chunky Pandya and all example. When you cancel your GST registration, you have to file one return known as final return, known as GSTR 10. Name as GSTR 10. When you cancel, still you need to file one return known as GSTR 10. Due date is 3 months from the date of cancellation. You have to file this return 3 months from the date of cancellation. Clear? So all these returns are important, which you need to understand, and you need to remember the due date, because now your exam is objective oriented. Okay? Chalo. Now you people all have to file one more thing. Every person has to file one annual return. And tomorrow I will explain you audit also how it happens. So every registered person will have to file annual return. What is the due date? Means हर महीने 1 and 3 भी तो भरना ही है. Plus you need to file annual return. Due date is 9 months from the end of the financial year. So suppose financial year is 1920. Due date is 31st of December 2020. 9 months from the end of the financial year. GSTR 9. Clear? So these are all the returns which we need to file. Do you remember 1, 2, 3, 4? I all got it. 4, 5, 6. With the notes, obviously, I will share it with you. For the composition scheme, GSTR 4. For NRI, GSTR 5. Okay. For input service distributor, GSTR 6. TDS deductor, GSTR 7. TCS deductor, GSTR 8. For TCS deductor. When you cancel your number, cancellation final return. Okay. And now one annual return you need to file 9 months from the end of the financial year. Okay. Here, casual taxable person, same GSTR 1 and 3B, same return, no separate return, same 1 and 3B. Only for NRI, there is GSTR 5. For casual, it is same 1 and 3B, no separate return. Okay, now I want to teach you one composition scheme under GST. There are two kinds of composition scheme. Let us understand that. Okay, just 1 minute, I'm pausing it. Composition scheme. We have covered many chapters today. I hope it was useful session for you. I hope notes, so obviously I will share it with you, but I hope you have learned something new today. So 1 minute, we'll just open. Where will I get this notes? Notes though I have already shared with the admin, and he has already emailed to everyone, if I'm not wrong. I was told that the notes are already emailed to all the students, and few of the students have said also they have received. So you will get these notes there only, sir. Yeah, received, no? Yeah. Okay, you got your notes, no? That's it. So they have already emailed. This also for today's also, I will email you all the notes. Whatever I'm teaching you today, I will email you. In fact, input tax credit, I have given you entire chapter also. I have shared two notes. One is that demo lecture which I have taught you yesterday, and I've also shared input tax credit, around 80 pages notes is there. You can refer that also. It will help you in exam. Okay, this notes also I will share it with you. Chalo, 1 second, I will. Yeah, chalo. Now composition scheme under GST law. I hope you can see the screen. Composition scheme under GST law. What is this scheme? What is the benefit of the scheme? What is the change in this scheme? Chalo, let us understand. This was asked for around 4 to 8 marks suddenly in exam. Not that much important concept, but it was asked for 4 to 8 marks. Let us understand this entire concept of composition scheme. Suppose this is Miss Gada Electronic, you must be aware, a small dealer. Okay, they are telling to government that, sir, our turnover is 1 to 1.2 crore. Chote dealers, small dealers, we have taken registration, but every month to file GST returns, to make GST payment, to make invoices, all this compliance, it is so difficult. It is so difficult. Is there any scheme? We are small dealer, turnover 1 to 1.2 crore. So government realized that yes, for small dealers, we should have one optional scheme. We should give them one benefit. That's why government introduced composition scheme in GST for the dealers whose turnover is below or up to 1.5 crore. How much? 1 crore 50 lakh. 1.5 up to 1.5 crore. For them, there is the scheme. What are the advantage? See, these are the advantage. That they have to file quarterly statement. Baki some monthly. They will file quarterly statement in CMP 08. They will pay also GST quarterly. Quarterly GST. Okay, if they pay quarterly, I am paying monthly. So their liquidity will be so high. Next, they don't have to collect 5%, 12%. They have to pay flat 1% GST. Only 1%. So suppose this mobile rate is 18%. But if I am registered under composition scheme, only 1%. Any product, 1%. Okay. Also, I do not need to maintain invoice wise detail. Okay. So listening this scheme, these people are so happy. They are dancing. That excellent scheme is there. For the dealer, having turnover up to 1.5 crore. But now there are disadvantages. See, what are the disadvantages? Understand this. If I am registered under composition scheme, I cannot sell the goods outside the state. I repeat, I cannot sell the goods outside the state. If I am in Maharashtra, I can sell only in Maharashtra. If I am in Delhi, I can sell only in Delhi. That's it. Okay. Second, on purchases, whatever GST I have paid, I am not going to get input tax credit. On purchases, whatever GST I have paid, I am not going to get input tax credit. Okay. Third, you cannot get registered on Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, nothing. Nothing you can get. You are kahin bhi nahi ho sakte. No registration on e-commerce. Fourth, normally what happens? Supplier collects GST and pay to the government. So suppose if I have sold this mobile to you, I will collect 1 lakh from you and I will collect 18% GST and pay to the government, right? But if I am under composition scheme, I have to pay 1% GST from my own pocket. I cannot collect from you. You getting the point? I have to pay 1% GST from my own pocket. I cannot collect from the customer. So what is the benefit? This is the 1% additional burden on me. Government ne kaun sa benefit diya? No benefit. Okay. Also, I can supply only goods, no services. I can supply only goods, no services. So listening this, anyone will get angry. What kind of nonsense scheme is there? What is the benefit of this scheme? This scheme is useful only for the small dealers who are selling small furniture or a small benefit. Only such people are there. This kirana wala and all. Only for them this scheme is useful. For regular dealer, this scheme is not useful. The scheme is not useful. Okay, and this scheme is applicable only for supplier of goods. Only for supplier of goods. You cannot give services. Okay, so these are more disadvantage rather than advantage. Don't you think? There are more disadvantages. Only I cannot give services. This was the point. But there is some amendment for services which I will explain. There are some amendments which I will explain. Clear? So if I am in the composition scheme, I can sell only within the state. I cannot get registered on Amazon, Flipkart. Okay. On purchase, whatever GST I have paid, I will not get ITC. Fourth, I cannot collect. I have to pay 1% from my pocket. Okay. And I can give only goods, no services. Okay. Now this was the point. Now, Mr. Person, he explained to government that government, we are electronic shop. How can we only supply goods? There will be some after sales service. We are electronic shop, repairing service, refrigerator service, maintenance service. Some service will always be there. You are not allowing composition scheme dealer to give service. How is that possible? How is that possible? That's why government thought, yes, there is a point. So government made amendment. Government made amendment. See, what is the amendment? Now, if you are under composition scheme, along with goods, you can also give service up to what amount? 5 lakh or 10% of turnover, whichever is high. How much service you can give? 5 lakh or 10% of the turnover, whichever is higher. So minimum you can give at least of 5 lakh. At least of 5 lakh. So suppose you are selling goods of 1 crore. Okay, how much service you can give? 5 lakh or 10% of 1 crore? 10 lakh, whichever is higher. So 10 lakh rupees you can give. Understood? This is the amendment. This is the amendment. So now, along with goods, some service you can give 5 lakh or 10% of the turnover, whichever is higher, not lower. Clear? So this is the composition scheme. Which return they have to file? CMP 08. When? Quarterly, not monthly. Clear? So now a new point came in composition scheme from 7th March 19, applicable from April 19. Concessional 3% GST rate for small services provider. Just 1 second. Sorry. There is one scheme which has come. See this. Yeah. See this. For the, can the supplier shift? Yeah. Someone has asked me a question. If you are registered under composition scheme, can you shift to regular scheme? Anytime. Anytime you can shift to regular scheme. No restriction. No restriction at all. Okay. What you are asking is this section. See this now. For services provider, a new notification has come. Concessional 3% GST rate. Concessional 3% GST rate for small services provider. This scheme is for services provider, not for goods. This scheme is specifically, exclusively for service provider. Goods वालों भी कर सकते हैं इसमें, but advisable for service provider, like a chartered accountant, cost accountant. We can offer this scheme. What is this scheme? Understand. After listening to this scheme, I want answer from you. Is this scheme beneficial or not? Okay, you people reply me on chat after understanding. Heading is what? Concessional 3% GST rate. Concessional 3% GST rate. Clear? See this. The point, understand. One second. Yeah. Suppose you all can see the screen. Now I got the message screen sharing again. Can anyone reply? You can see the screen. Anyone please reply? Can you see the screen? Okay, okay, great. But got it. See. Now suppose Mr. Jaykant. What he is doing? He is a services provider, not selling goods like us, cost accountant, chartered accountant like us. So he is complaining to government that for goods you have introduced that composition scheme. What about service provider? Why not introducing for us? So from 1st April 2019, government introduced scheme for services provider also. See the scheme. Concessional 3% GST. Okay, applicable from 1st April 19. Whenever you read a heading, concessional 3%, we are talking about this scheme. What is the benefit about this scheme? That this scheme is applicable for the providers of service having turnover aggregate of 50 lakh rupees. Up to 50 lakh rupees, up to 50 lakh rupees, only those people can offer this service. 50 lakh rupees. Clear? They have to file same quarterly statement, CMP08. Payment also they have to do quarterly, no monthly. Very good. Others will pay monthly, we will file quarterly. No invoice wise detail. Also they have to pay 6% GST. Also they have to pay 6% GST. How much? 6% GST, not 1%. For the services, how much is the rate? 6%. That's why the name concessional 3%. 3% CGST, 3% SGST, total 6 lakh. Total 6%. Okay, so it is not 3%, it is 3% plus 3%. Clear? So these are the advantage. Now understand the disadvantage. What are the disadvantage? You cannot supply service outside the state. Only within the state you need to supply service. On whatever GST I have paid, I'm not eligible for input tax credit. I cannot get registered on e-commerce platform like urban clap or anywhere. I cannot get registered. And worst point, I have to pay 6% GST from my pocket. Have I gone insane? Whether I will pay 6% from my pocket, I'm giving a service of 10,000. 600 rupees I will have to pay GST. I cannot collect GST from. Okay. And this scheme is not applicable for casual taxable person or an. So this scheme, what is the benefit of this scheme? What is the use of this scheme? Don't you think this is nonsense? Huh? Because services I can call on phone, SMS, anything. But I am restricted. I cannot give outside the state. Okay, I cannot get registered on Amazon, Flipkart, Urban Cloud. Purchases, whatever GST I have paid, I will not be allowed ITC. And worst point, I have to pay 6% GST from my pocket. How will I pay? I want answer from all of you at chat. Whether you think the scheme is useful, if you were service provider, whether you will apply for this scheme or not. Or not. What is your suggestion? What is your suggestion? Will you pay 6% from your pocket? And you will be restricted. Only you can give it in your state. You cannot give outside the state. Right? Very good. Obviously, no cost accountant, chartered accountant. I don't think anyone will go in this scheme. You know, this scheme is useful for who? Which class of people? Which class of people? I think this scheme is useful for mutual fund agents. Mutual fund agents. Those people are you. This scheme is useful. What happens? Suppose I'm a mutual fund agent. Suppose I'm a mutual fund agent. Okay. Okay, great. हाँ जब आप फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर बनो ठीक है. Suppose I am a mutual fund agent. Whatever mutual fund I bring for the company gives me commission. Now on that commission, they say all inclusive. They say GST of 18% is inclusive in it. So suppose I receive 10,000, the mutual fund agent, I have to pay GST of 18% from my pocket. You getting it? For mutual fund agent, whatever commission they earn, they have to pay from that 18% GST to government. Okay, for those service providers, this scheme is useful. That if I'm a mutual fund agent registered under GST in this scheme, whatever commission I received, I have to pay just 6% from my pocket, not 18%. So only for that class of people, this scheme is useful, as the scheme is totally baseless scheme. For me and you, the scheme is worthless. We will not go for this. So this is a short note that can come in your exam 4 marks. The heading is 3%, but actually it is 6% GST. Clear? So someone wanted to understand about composition scheme. I hope I've explained both the provisions and you have understood entire. So today what topics we cover? We covered the remaining portion of input tax credit. We covered the reverse charge mechanism, TDS, TCS, e-way bill, then GST returns, just demo, GSTR 2A, how it functions, Rule 36 sub Rule 4, and we also understood this composition scheme under GST. Clear? See, someone is asking 50 lakh or 30 lakh. Madam, what is the language here? If your turnover in the preceding financial year is 50 lakh, so you are already having GST number, na? You are already having GST number. So now on entire 50 lakh GST shall be applicable. On entire 50 lakh GST shall be applicable. Your turnover in the preceding financial year is up to rupee 50 lakh. Clear? Yeah. Okay. Chalo. So this was the entire point. This notes plus whatever extra notes are there, whichever is applicable, which is permissible, I will share with the WRC Institute. They will mail it to you. But hopefully you are referring the notes. Now exam time is very less. Very less. Rule 43, I know it takes time, sir. Rule 43, I will try to put it on my channel only. You people can watch it anytime as per your convenience. Okay? Because right now I cannot explain Rule 43. Okay, so thank you so much so far. Now for whatever Customs Act, I already told to you that whatever Customs Act lecture you can see it on my channel. The channel name is already shared with you yesterday. This is the name of the channel. This is the name of the channel. You can subscribe or you can watch the videos. No problem. Contact number I've already given. Many are already messaging me. See this. You received the contact number, or else I will show it to you again. Contact number. Okay, so all the videos of customs, foreign trade policy I have explained here, but I have taught in Hindi, not in English much. The reason is there are some students which don't understand English completely, so I've taught it in Hindi and English entirely. Okay, so hopefully today's session was good. You learned something new about few chapters, and whatever queries and awesome you have, you can put it and ask me. Tomorrow we will discuss assessment, audit, anti-profit, advanced ruling, inspection, such big and heavy topics we are going to cover tomorrow. So thank you so much each and everyone. It was fun teaching you. See you tomorrow 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Thank you. Goodbye. Good night.